This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Health officials sounding the alarm as COVID-19 cases climb. The CDC tells travelers to avoid the Bahamas. And 5 COVID cases confirmed in public schools. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with Mobile Assist about their Sand Dollar initiative, what's happening there, some exciting things going on. And later in Morning Blend Business, we'll be, in light of Earth Day approaching, talking about what business can do to decrease their carbon footprint, to be more environmentally friendly, and to save some money. That's coming up in Morning Blend Business. But first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the Overnight, Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pinder-Butler calling for urgent action on the government's part to curb the spread of COVID-19 as the country continues to see a surge in new cases. In an interview with the National Guardian yesterday, she said, quote, "It needs to be addressed urgently by the Ministry of Health and the management of the PHA as well as the Department of Public Health. The unions, we are there to partner with management. We've been asking and talking about certain things. We always make recommendations over and over. Sometimes we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to be able to learn from our experiences." The alarm being raised now as COVID cases increase in the country. Pinder-Butler saying that we're set up for potential disaster if we don't buckle down and try to reinforce safety measures. After months of lower case numbers, the country is in the midst of a third wave. According to Director of the National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Disease Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, the country recorded 55 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday, bringing the total number of cases recorded in the country to 9,791. As of Sunday, there were 45 people hospitalized with COVID. There have been 620 COVID-19 cases in April already, a total that has far surpassed the number of cases reported in January, which saw 336 new cases, and February, which saw 335 cases, and March, which saw 613 cases for the whole month. While COVID hospitalizations are still far from the 2020 high of more than 100, Pinder Butler says there's less capacity than before. Meanwhile, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advising travelers to avoid the Bahamas because there is a very high level of COVID in the country. In January, the CDC moved the Bahamas from a level 4 travel health notice to a less severe level 3. However, after weeks of reported increases in new cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, the CDC moved the country back to a level 4 health advisory yesterday. And COVID-19 cases have been confirmed at 5 public schools in Providence. That's according to Director of Education Marcellus Taylor. These include a positive case involving a student at H.O. Nash Junior High, a COVID-positive administrator at L.W. Young Junior High, and a teacher at Carlton Francis Primary, and a student at Garvin Tynes Primary. Taylor says he did not have the information on the 5th case at his fingertips when contacted for comment yesterday, but the NASA Guardian says the 5th case is a student at C.R. Walker Senior High. The director says there were concerns at T.G. Glover Primary and Sadie Curtis Primary, but no confirmed cases. He says an estimated 15 people are impacted, including positive cases and contacts of positive cases in the schools, which are closed for deep cleaning. The director noting that education authorities in the ministry and the schools are all familiar with the established protocols to respond to this kind of situation. And preliminary PCR screening of 10 recent positive COVID-19 samples detected genes associated with variants of concern, indicating the possible presence of COVID variants in the Bahamas. The screening was conducted by the National Reference Lab. The NASA Guardian reporting that the samples were sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency for further testing. The Ministry of Health will not be able to confirm whether any of the 3 variants of concern, South African, British, or Brazilian, are present in the country until it receives results from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, according to sources speaking to the NASA Guardian. In January, health officials said the Bahamas does not have the capacity to test for new variants of COVID-19. And a woman accused of forging scores of COVID-19 test results remanded to prison. 35-year-old Adiria Russell of Grantana subdivision of Cowpen Road appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt yesterday after police charged her with 80 counts of forgery and 80 counts of possession of a forged document in relation to the matter. However, due to the court's busy calendar, Ferguson Pratt was only able to arraign Russell on 40 counts of possession of a forged documents. According to those counts, between November 25th and March 20th, Russell had doctors, hospital, health systems, negative COVID-19 PCR tests in the names of other people. She pleaded not guilty. Russell is represented by Ian Cargill. And when Dawn Miller Fraser returns to court today for the continuation of her arraignment, which is expected to last several days. And a man stabbed to death. This happened on Monday morning on Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace. Police say they got a call shortly before 4 a.m. that a man was lying in the street in that area. Police pronouncing that man dead at the scene. Police asking for anyone with information about this to give them a call. Contact them urgently. Overseas, Chinese President Xi Jinping today calling for more equitable management of global affairs. And in an implicit rejection of U.S. dominance, he said governments shouldn't impose rules on others. Xi's speech at an economic forum comes amid rising tension with China's neighbors and Washington over its strategic ambitions and demands for a bigger role in making trade and other rules. Without mentioning the United States, Xi criticized, quote, unilateralism of individual countries and warned against decoupling, a reference to fears U.S.-Chinese tension over technology and security will split industries and markets into separate, less productive spheres and incompatible standards. She's saying by video link to the Bao Forum for Asia on the southern island of Hainan, saying, quote, international affairs should be handled by everyone through consultation. Rules made by one or more countries should not be forced upon others. He also called for stronger cooperation in research on coronavirus vaccines and steps to make them available to developing countries. His comments reflected the ruling Communist Party's desire for global influence to match China's status as the second largest economy, and frustration at what party leaders see as U.S. efforts to block its ambitions. The sentiments have been fueled by sanctions imposed by former U.S. President Donald Trump that block access to U.S. processor chips and other technology for Chinese giant Huawei and some other companies. Some of Xi's comments clashed with Beijing's stepped-up military activity in the South China Sea and other areas where its territorial claims conflict with those of Japan, the Philippines, India, and other countries. In sports, Bahamian long-distance runner O'Neal Williams will likely have one final shot to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics in the men's marathon on time, and he's prepared to take full advantage of it. Williams, who had to pull up in the marathon Izmir 2021 in Turkey last week as he was bothered by Achilles tendonitis, says his recovery efforts have been progressive, and he feels he'll be ready to go in about a month's time. He's registered for the 19th running of the Brescia Art Marathon, set for May in Italy. The qualifying deadline for the Olympics for the men's marathon is a day later, May 31st. Williams says he feels about 80% health-wise and is confident he'll be ready to go on May 30th. And it's been over a year since Bahamian football player Chris Ferguson has played competitive football. Now he's looking to elevate his game and excel in the CFL, Canadian Football League, this upcoming season. Ferguson was drafted 27th overall in the CFL Global Draft by the Ottawa Redblacks on Thursday, April 15th. He wants to go there and leave his mark as one of the best offensive line players in the league. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And a final decision on the fate of the 2021 Carifta Games expected to come in May. This past Saturday, the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletics Association hosted a special information session for the Carifta family. A Zoom meeting was attended by member federations as well as chairs of NACAC commissions and working groups. This year's edition of the Carifta Games is scheduled for August in Bermuda. The junior regional track and field meet was not held in 2020, of course, because of COVID. Bermuda transferred its hosting responsibilities to 2021, but are the games in jeopardy? We will know next month. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a severe weather warning in effect for the extreme northwest Bahamas. That thunderstorm warning in effect for Bimini, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. That's in effect until 7 a.m. today. According to the Department of Meteorology, radar and satellite imagery depicting a large cluster of heavy showers with embedded thunderstorms moving eastwards towards and across the warning areas. The system is associated with a quasi-stationary front that's located just north of the extreme northwest Bahamas, near central Florida right now. Some of the thunderstorms will be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds. They've had this all night, basically. Dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding is also possible during the storms. Boaters in the warning areas should seek safe harbor, and residents in the warning areas should stay indoors and away from windows when conditions worsen. So as we said, a lot's been happening, especially overnight for the extreme northwest Bahamas. Our frontal boundary just north of the area is triggering pockets of unsettled weather over portions of the northwestern islands. This as it lifts northward. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge will dominate weather across the rest of the country as it shifts eastward through tonight. Boaters in the northwest Bahamas should remain alert due to the threat of possible waterspout activity, as well as reduced visibility in heavy showers and thunderstorms. Your forecast for today for the northwest Bahamas: variably cloudy, hot, and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Turning warm tonight, showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times across the extreme northwestern islands. Boaters again should expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds south to south-southeast to south-southwest at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, sunny and hot with a stray shower or two possible, turning fair and warm tonight. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Shifting east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots tonight. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Off to a warm start so far this morning. We are at 79 degrees in Nassau already. Look for highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up,
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Don Sargent. Good morning, Don.
Morning.
Great to have you with us as always.
Yes, it's good to be alive.
Hey, I've been meaning to talk about this. I was supposed to talk about this yesterday, but we were very caught up with the horrible situation with the that massacre on Thursday, still talking about that and reacting to the 2-year-old who had been shot. And so it just wasn't appropriate, I guess, at the time. But I need to say this. This is important. I was pleasantly surprised. I'd heard that they'd made some great improvements, but I had to license my car on Friday. And did the online booking so that, you're just supposed to just go in smoothly and right. That's what. So I had an appointment for 11 o'clock, and I ended up getting there early. Do you know I was done by 11? I think the whole thing took 15 minutes. That was an incredible process. It was really great. Hats off to the road traffic department. I know I do carry them and they control it pretty hard, but that was pretty impressive. And I just wonder why everything in this country can't work like this all the time. I really do, because we can do it. We can do it if we put our minds to it. But that really was impressive. And hats off to everybody.
So
there.
what was different about it besides the booking process? Was it that, like, did you have to come inside of your car? Was it all inside your car? How was the process?
Yeah, so you pull up, you give them your name, and you'd be registered already. And you just get the car inspected, and they tell you what to do. You wait over there, and we'll call you when we're ready for you. And that took less than 5 minutes. And then you go and pay, and you're on your way. That's it. No long line, no queuing up at 5 a.m. at the stadium. I don't understand. I know that this was at Western Esplanade. I know there's a cashless system there, and so I can imagine for some people that's going to be an issue. But really smooth. I had heard the great reviews, and people were saying how wonderful it was. But I was able to do everything, got my license renewed. I have to pick that up, they said, in a couple days. But, yeah, just go and pick it up. But simple, fantastic process. Just really great. And again, hats off to the road traffic department. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And other departments, please observe, go and study it, follow it. Everybody, private sector too. We can do this. We know how to do these things. It is possible. And even the worst offenders can change their ways. And I was encouraged.
Is this the redemption arc of road traffic that you're not thinking about?
The sad thing is that in a few days, you're going to still see the line all the way from the stadium to downtown. And that's really unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. Obviously, some people like it like that. And again, I know some people aren't going to be able to deal with a cashless system, and perhaps they'll end up in a situation like that. But it doesn't have to be like that. And keep that in mind. Now, the only issue is that you, I think for this, you need to have a Facebook account. And so, but hey, if you know somebody with a Facebook account, they can make the appointment for you. So.
Little compromises here and there.
Yeah.
But is it the same thing for Carmichael Road, or is it only the Western Esplanade?
I've heard good things about Carmichael as well. I've heard similar things. So those two areas, I don't know if they're cashless at Carmichael. I'm not too sure. But I've heard the appointment system is working. It's great, smooth. And I know there was some debate among some of my friends about which one is easier. And they both clearly are working very well. And I actually heard somebody say something pretty good about the stadium as well, just that the signage is confusing, or the lack thereof. And so,
any excuse I have to not go to the stadium is a good excuse.
Hey, before the pandemic, I went to the stadium and had no issues. But I'm very glad.
I think I went and it only took 3 hours. So
did
it didn't take all day.
On the 30th of the month or something?
I went to the beginning of the month, I think, or the middle of the month.
Well, middle shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I think it was because my month is December. So, December is horrible because obviously Christmas and everything. So, nothing's happening at the end of the month. So, everybody jams up at the beginning. And then the middle of the month is usually a lull, which only took me 3 hours. So,
you were doing something wrong. You were doing something wrong. I don't know what it was, but I remember right before Christmas. I think it was 2 days before Christmas. There was nobody on that line at the stadium. This was right after government payday. Nobody was there. And then right after Christmas, the line was until February. So, yeah. But hey.
Well, it sounds like it's getting better now, so I'm happy with that. This sounds like a road traffic redemption arc. Things are changing. The country's improving. I'm trying to be hopeful here.
Let's not push it now. Road traffic is improving. And again, there's some other departments that need to step up their game immensely. But I'm glad that it's happening for them. So good job there. All right. We have a lot to get to this morning, and you can join the conversation as well. We are on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us, morningblend@nascar.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Maybe you've had an interesting experience at road traffic. You can tell us about that this morning. Text us or tweet us or Facebook us. Coming up this morning, we've got more weather and traffic. And on our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with Mobile Assist about Sand Dollar and how that they're being better integrated and what we need to know about that. And then in Morning Blend Business, we are talking, in light of Earth Day this Thursday, talking about how businesses can reduce their carbon footprint and reduce their energy costs and other costs by being more environmentally friendly. That's coming up in Morning Blend Business. But right now it's time to talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, COVID, the numbers are going up, and now more and more health officials are sounding the alarm. On third wave, everybody seems to be convinced that we are definitely in a third wave, and we are already feeling the repercussions for this. The CDC bumping us back up, or is it down? Anyway, to level 4. Level 4, meaning that travelers should avoid the Bahamas. More on that in a moment. But Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pinder-Butler calling for urgent action on the government's part to curb the spread of COVID-19 as the country continues to see a surge in new cases. Our Rachel Scott writing about this in today's Nassau Guardian. She says that everybody needs to be a part of this, and we need the Ministry of Health and the Public Hospitals Authority to partner with the unions. And she says, quote, "We continue to ask our leaders to re-engage us because we are still working to try our best to safeguard the Bahamian population. We should have gotten this together a while ago, but it's here. We don't want to keep being reactionary. This knee-jerk thing shouldn't be happening. We should be able to be professional and see what's happening in other places and prepare our people." So we really think this is beyond critical. This is beyond the time where it's critical. It's beyond that. We are set up for potential disaster if we don't buckle down and try to reinforce those safety measures. And perhaps it might be time for the Ministry of Health and others to re-engage persons in health and see what else can be done. Perhaps discuss measures, again, that might be useful so that we can see how much we can get a grip on what is happening before we end up with a very, very serious situation in the country. Although I think that perhaps we already have a serious situation in the country. Okay, Pinder-Butler says that there's less capacity in the hospitals now, even though we aren't at the peak of hospitalizations that we saw in 2020. She says healthcare workers not being rehired by the government, the reopening of more parts of the health system, and the dedication of resources to vaccine rollout have resulted in a shortage of staff. She says, quote, "Unfortunately, we have lost physicians again, even persons who have not been rehired. So it's a multifold or complicated case in which your healthcare institution already does not have room for persons who need to be admitted, whether they are COVID patients or patients who need care. The room is just not there, and your staffing is also limited." Pinder-Butler says that the healthcare system is already overwhelmed. She says, quote, "It is absolutely concerning for us, certainly in health, especially from the hospital and community level, because in the first instance, all of the clinics, everything is open. So in instances where we had previous waves and there were restrictions, we didn't have everything open, so all of the clinics might not have been functioning. We didn't have persons involved with the vaccine rollout, for example. So we have almost all the elements in the healthcare system open and then persons redistributed to assist in all these various things. Okay, so she's painting a picture there. We can't afford to see a surge in cases of hospitalizations. Clearly, we are not prepared for that. So, what do we do? Think about that while we take a listen to this report on the reaction to the CDC and what it did yesterday. This report from our Kyle Joaquin.
It's deeply concerning. It is going to impact tourism. Maybe the rebound is not as quick as we expect.
The tourism minister deeply concerned by this latest ranking, saying it's not a good thing at all. The CDC has once again placed the Bahamas at level 4 in its COVID-19 ranking, warning of very high COVID-19 levels. The ranking advises Americans to avoid all travel to the Bahamas, that even fully vaccinated travelers may be at risk for getting and spreading variants, and if you must travel, get fully vaccinated and follow precautions like wearing masks and avoiding crowds.
We've all been seeing the number of positive cases, so it was only a matter of time before we cross that threshold and get downgraded from a level 3 to a level 4.
The CDC had lowered the Bahamas' ranking to 3 in late January, which at that time came as welcome news to the Prime Minister.
Because the CDC sees how much progress we have made and are convinced that we will continue to be vigilant.
Despite the warning, the tourism minister stressed that the Bahamas is still a safe destination. He expressed concern, however, about recommendations that could come from health officials and what potential tighter restrictions could have on the tourism industry.
But it's not lost on us that certainly from a touristic standpoint, any significant lockdown or restriction will have a significantly negative impact on the rebound of our economy. And we are slowly coming back. And so this is worrying from that perspective.
The Ministry of Health reported 55 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday as the country experiences a third wave.
It looks a lot like the beginning of the second wave. But in the medical context, in the infectious disease context, we know there are newer variants of concern. Those are mutated strains of the COVID-19 virus, SARS-CoV-2, that are more transmissible, that make people more sick. So that is also a possibility. That people could be that more virus could be being transmitted if those variants are.
Director of the government's infectious diseases program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, says with cases steadily increasing, there will have to be an intervention.
So when I say interventions, I mean that in the broadest context, unless we do something. So that means the public, if we follow the measures, then that will flatten the curve. Control in terms of contact tracing and robust public health policy will flatten the curve. And so I mean that in the broadest possible way.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
All right. Here we are again. What does it all mean? What's happening? What are we doing? What's going on? Give us a call. 323.
Just a question about the situation with the numbers and the CDC putting us on this list again. I don't think most people that are coming here care because, like, America is approaching, 70% vaccinated, and they're getting, 67,000 or so cases a day or a week. Because they're ravaging through this third wave as well. And the people that are going to be traveling, not just to the Bahamas, but around the world from America right now, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that we should take it lightly, but I'm just saying, you can't come from the biggest hotspot, one of the biggest hotspots on the planet, and say I'm not going to travel to this other country because they also have numbers rising. I don't know. I don't think that's going to have much of an impact. I do think we should do something for us, not necessarily for the point of tourism, though.
Yeah, it's for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, even though the CDC says even if you are vaccinated, you need to be careful, or you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't go. But, this is about us now. what are we going to do? Something is not connecting. People have clearly, and we know it. Let's stop playing. You see it everywhere. People have just given up. They don't care. They're like, I'm living my life. I don't care. I'll walk in with the mask, but as soon as I get in there, it is going to be hanging off my ear, around my neck, in my pocket, on the floor. Who cares? Whatever. And I'll put it on when I'm leaving. And it's not stopping any show. There's a picture in the paper today where people playing dominoes, and it looks like it's from 2018. I think I see one mask on that man's ear. Nobody else is wearing a mask. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So are we surprised? Are we going to say it's not us, it's somebody else? What's happening? Again, the number is 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, right?
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Don.
Morning.
Yeah, man. Look out. Dwight, let me ask you something. And we just got some vaccines from India?
And the COVAX facility, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I was checking a report on the World News that says India in trouble, huh? But
many countries are seeing the numbers rise, yes.
Huh?
Many countries are seeing the numbers rise.
India, especially India is overpopulated. They send us vaccines, but they in trouble?
Yes.
They don't have enough vaccine for them?
They got 1.4 billion people.
Okay. So, I mean, we how can we take vaccines from India and they in trouble? They ain't got enough vaccines for them.
They're a major manufacturer. They have, yeah. I mean, it was a gift. It was a gift. You look, but
don't you find that
no
perplexing?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, be in denial then.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some countries aren't selfish. They're a major manufacturer.
Also, you got to remember too that what's a good way of saying this? India also has to compete with China, right? And China was doing something very similar, where they give certain countries certain amounts of vaccines and then strike deals with countries to buy more vaccines. And China exploited the situation in Europe with the hesitation with the AstraZeneca vaccine. I think two countries, including Hungary, also canceled some of their orders for AstraZeneca and bought the Sinopharm vaccine from China. Same thing with Pakistan and a few other countries. And what India has been doing, the same thing the UK has been doing, the same thing the United States has been doing, the same thing Russia's been doing, is you take a certain portion of your vaccine stockpile and you try to other countries to improve relations. It's diplomacy and geopolitics at work.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't just jump to say this is some grand conspiracy. No, this is business as usual, but we just happen to be in a pandemic. So just take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would you rather they not help? Would that have been better? No vaccine at all? Okay.
Well, you're at a time of great power competition, so all sorts of things that may seem weird are happening, but they're really not weird when you dig below the surface.
Exactly. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Don.
Hi, good morning.
Don, to your point, maybe we should look at China because clearly they're doing something everyone else isn't doing because their cases, maybe they're lying, but they seem to be doing better than everybody else, considering the virus started in China. But this whole thing about, we were back to talking about flattening the curve again. This sounds like insanity to me. Like you're doing the same thing over and over again and not expecting a different result. Here's the deal. Texas, Florida, and I think Missouri, they stopped their mask mandate, right? You don't have to automatically wear a mask wherever you go. And their cases have been dropping dramatically compared to states that kept their mask mandates and kept the restrictions on the population. And unlike the Bahamas,
yeah, but that's happening at the same time as vaccination rates are going up too. So,
no, it did not.
I mean, it is. That's been
happening. No, it did not.
Okay.
The facts are on my side, Dwight. Florida stopped the mask mandate before the ramp up of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Texas did similar things.
But it has been happening.
I didn't say it wasn't happening. I said
Okay, but you did kind of just say that.
The amount of vaccines was not as high as it was when they did that. But
It's only been a matter of days.
The point still remains, though, Dwight, that those states have less cases, and unlike the Bahamas where we stopped testing and then we said, well, our cases dropping, their testing rate basically is similar or same as it was 6 months ago. But their cases are dropping compared to states that have maintained their mask and all that stuff like that. I'm saying we're clearly not doing something like if we're not even focused on trying to help people boost their immune system, and the greatest booster of the immune system is going into the sun, vitamin D, right?
Who's stopping you from doing it?
So if we're telling people, oh, you can't go on the beach and all that other stuff, what are we actually doing?
We're not doing that.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not. Just don't be there with a group of 20 or something.
Telling people, get out of the water, stay 6 feet apart, and all that nonsense.
Okay, so stay 6 feet apart. Is it
that nonsense? You're out in the open.
Okay.
You're in the sun.
Hey, if you're not with a group of 20 or more, no one's going to say anything to you.
My point is, all this is nonsense.
Okay.
This is not science. I like to listen.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing excuses. That's all I'm hearing.
I think the gist of what he's saying kind of like, I don't disagree. This is the part I don't disagree with, is that nobody wants lockdowns, but unfortunately, based on what's happening, and we said this before, Dwight, there's a very good chance we may be headed back into lockdown season. Listen, I don't want it. I really don't. But, you know, and that's what probably feels like the insanity, too, is like we do this every single time. The numbers do eventually go down when you do those things. But it's extraordinarily painful for businesses, painful for people. Restriction of movement causes, in my opinion, quite the opposite sometimes, because we just huddle up and bundle up when we're together, especially with traffic and going to the food store, and then you restrict certain businesses from opening. I think that's the scenario that nobody wants. But we all know when the virus profile in terms of how many people get sick or get the virus go up, this tends to happen. But I think something that's, I don't want to say promising, but something that I've noticed is while the numbers have been going up, the number of hospitalizations hasn't exploded like it did in the past, right? Because last year when numbers started going up, just like hospitalizations rose sharply. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I assume it is, but then I don't know what's going to happen between now and let's say Friday. So here's hoping it stays with very low hospitalizations or no new hospitalizations.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take some more calls. We're getting some interesting messages as well. We'll get to those in a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on there.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, I listened to a caller talked about India. I mean, it's just fair to assume, like most countries probably, even us ourselves are doing, I've just really given up on taking care of some of the citizens, particularly when you are overwhelmed. It's really, there's really no way you can rob from Peter to pay Paul anymore because you don't have the resources.
Do you think the Bahamas has done that?
Well, it appears to be so because, when you look at the situation here, we have a lot of people who don't even understand the English language. And to explain it to in their language, it really doesn't come across as effectively because it's not an effective language that they speak. So we have persons who just don't even care or just don't even understand how to care because you can't reach them. And I think we're dealing with issues like that. But what I really want to call them.
Who are these people that you're talking about? Who are you talking about?
No, I'm just talking generally.
High school dropouts? Who are you talking about? I don't understand. Who are you talking
Sorry?
about? Who are you talking about?
Just generally speaking, when you cannot communicate and effectively convince someone, then you're losing.
Okay.
Okay, that's, I just leave it right there. But I think what we need now is true leaders who can lead by example. Look, this campaigning thing has to stop. And if I'm the supreme, I forget that word, leader.
Competent authority.
I can't even fix my mouth to say it because it's not true. But if I'm one of them, then I should be the one to stand up and say, you know what? Let's pass a law. No campaigning until we get this down. But that's not going to happen because the greed. It's like when you're trading online for stocks You already have $100 in, but you see you can make a. So you go, and then you know what? The market takes it from you, and the market is taking us because we are led by greed. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. All right. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. This texter here suggesting that the curfew needs to go back to 8 p.m. Wow. Would that make a difference? What do you make of that, Don?
No, I don't want the curfew to go back to 8 p.m. Or 7 p.m. or 5 p.m.
Oh, don't even joke.
All those are times we had the curfew. I think we've had 9 once upon a time. I don't want it to do that because I know how the traffic situation is going to be, and I know how that's going to. Anyway, whatever.
And businesses are just getting back up and running. That would be a disaster. I mean, we just need people to control themselves.
Yeah, I understand why the texter is saying that. Right? I'm not chastising them for saying that. I know perfectly well and why, but I do think it would be a painful option. That I hope we slow down rather than push gas going towards it.
Yeah. Some more messages before we go back to the calls. Not everyone is on Facebook. Oh, this is back to the back to the road traffic issue. Not everyone's on Facebook. They need to fix that part. Yes, I agree with you. That part is. Yeah, I don't know why it's Facebook. I don't understand that part. But again, almost everybody else is, and if you ask one of them, they can do it for you. But I agree that shouldn't be the only way to do it. This person says, I licensed my car, renewed my license at the stadium last week. It took only 30 minutes, left with my driver's license in hand. Okay, look at you. Very good. This is back to COVID. What should the government do? What should the action be? According to Dr. Pinder, what is Brave Davis saying should happen? He has been silent. Fake tests, folks still gathering, business owners are conflicted, waking dead, or is it walking? Anyway, every man and woman for theyself. That's how it seems to be, yes, indeed. Another one here. It seems as though everyone has forgotten standing outside of long lines at the food stores and the toilet paper shortages. I still suffer from anxiety attacks every time I hear the Prime Minister say my fellow Bahamians and residents. Yeah, some people clearly have forgotten. Another one.
I can relate to that because that's exactly what I was thinking about when they talked about the curfew and lockdowns.
No,
that's precisely what comes to mind.
Yep. Another one here. Too many quasi-government and government offices are full of workers when office workers should be able to work shifts or from home. So it's cheapest we just learn to live with the virus because the mindset of many managers not changing. Tourists are still coming because no one's listening to the COVID stories. We are numb to it now and tired. We need to live. That's quite ironic because not everybody will live.
I know, right? But it's true. Tourists do not care. The ones that come here they usually come from hot spots. They don't give a crap.
This texter says, I know one thing we are not doing is locking down again. Tell the good doctor if she doesn't have a solution other than lockdowns, we don't wish to even hear from her or ever hear from her at all. Our previous approaches involved hospital capacity over the economy. I say the economy first this time. Wow. Okay, boy. Another text here. Let's do what we always do and place the blame at the foot of the government because we're so disciplined as people. It isn't like fish fry is packed every weekend, It isn't like the government hasn't put the measures in place to curb the spread. We must be better as a people. I hear you, and I totally agree, although I think the previous caller was right, too. The government needs to stop the campaigning and the double talk. Everybody needs to stop doing the foolishness, and everybody knows what the foolishness is, and even the people who don't speak English. So let's not try it. And I don't know. But anyway, let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how are you doing?
Morning.
You're my guest. Mr. Strachan.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Strachan, I noticed, first of all, right, I noticed you was allowed to call this show, and you entertaining, I getting paid. Mr. Strachan, I'm not getting paid, okay? I'm just doing right doing.
Well, just don't call any people's names, especially if they're not relevant to the conversation.
Mr. Strachan, I never call nobody's name.
You always do, Dave. Always.
I never talk to callers. But Mr. Strachan.
Not the callers.
No, Mr. Strachan. No, but listen to me. But can I say something right now?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Listen to me. somebody called Mr. Davis' name. You forget, just run. You're all watching the wrong things in the media now. Mr. Davis said a long time, let testing be free. This is a money grab. All they're doing right now, why they charge payments to get tested? Test everybody and then find who have corona and then give them the vaccine. I mean, that's straightforward. All this right now is a money grab by doctors. We say doctors, and then Mr. Strachan.
If you have it, you can't get the vaccine.
Strachan, I'm trying to say right now.
Not yet.
Mr. Strachan, why is testing being, why are they charging $300 for testing?
Well, 100. Yeah, but yeah, we agree with you.
Mr. Strachan, last thing. Hello?
Yes.
Be respectful. Let me give me a second. Another thing, right? The doctor, the ladies say, engage them. They ain't been engaged. Let's be careful. Mr. Davis say long time, engage people and come up with a plan. All they're doing right now is charging. They say again, why Edgefield in charge? Edgefield is a half-cut hotel, man. Why are you in charge of this? Hello?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned. Okay.
Half-cut hotel, man.
I don't know what that means, but okay. He's not in charge. He's on the committee, and he's the principal spokesperson, but okay. But yeah, you're making some good points there, Dave. Yeah, we keep wondering, what is the issue with the cost of the testing? Why is it so high and nothing is being done to bring that down, it appears. It is very perplexing, very perplexing. Another call here. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, I'm Don, and good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. Dwight, I mean, and piggybacking off something that Dave said and responding to one of your texters, Dwight, when I hear people in our country, they like trying to put the blame on the opposition, but Dwight, in reality of it, I think it was your show. You had Dr. Lynwood Brown. You had Miss Melissa. I think that's her first name, Evans, and you had my incoming member of parliament for Tall Pines, Dr. Michael Darville and Mr. Brave Davis for over a year was saying, why don't you find the money to do some sort of free community testing? And they also spoke, I mean, when I listened to that lady with that interview with Ms. Butler, Dwight, there is nothing else as a sensible thinking Bahamian that I think that I believe, and I know that you are, that the respect that I have for you as a man, there's nothing else to blame besides the government. Yes, you have some family members, some people don't wear a mask. We understand that. But if you listen to what they explain, the shortness of doctors, the hospital don't have capacity, the rooms. And so Dwight, if we're in a third wave, let's be realistic, my brother. What are we going to do? And the lady done explained, it come like this lady was trying to say that from over a year ago. So in other words, if the hospital reached the capacity crowd, are we going to look forward to have Good Samaritans them to come back to set up a tent? Don't you think they could already try to do these things just in case it happens again, which it happened again now? Now we find ourselves back to square one. So who to blame this time? Who to blame? Remember one thing, Mr. Strachan, whether you, which I think you do at times, whether people want to admit it or not, I want my Bahamian people to understand one thing. The government, whether it's the PLP, the F&M, the government has the first say, has the last say, first say, the middle say, and the last say. So this one here, Dwight, I deem being political, but this one, all the blame fall on the government because they had enough time. You had Carl Bennell a couple years ago when I called your talk show, or they was only waiting on the first case to react. Now and the first case, I think that was the lady from Bimini, right? They know it was happening, and they had time to prepare. Why do we as Bahamians, when it comes to governments, we react to things when it doesn't happen? Why don't we put things in place? But have a good day, my brother.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Yep, I hear you on that, and definitely they need to be ready. And
but my question to that, though, Dwight, is what is the attractive option for governments to do, right? Because everything that you do is akin to political suicide at this point. If you have a lockdown again in terms of this reaction, just like the government say when they was waiting for the first case. The government's first reaction last year, March, was emergency orders, lockdowns, restriction of movements, closure of businesses, and people myself included, cried and complained about those days because it makes life uncomfortable. It forces me to jump together with a bunch of other people, restricts my ability to engage in commerce, traverse the country. Like it just was an all-around terrible experience. When you say that it's 100% government's fault, like, is it? I'm not understanding that point necessarily, because governments aren't out there spreading the virus. It's that people are going to be people. This isn't something that's unique or limited to the Bahamas. And I'm not defending any administration when I'm saying this. I'm just saying it's like the situation calls for a surgical response, and the only thing government knows how to do is to bring out the sledgehammer and slam it on the desk.
Right.
And that's not limited to our government either. Even the government of Canada have responses to this whole situation across the planet. So I don't know what the attractive solution for government is, because you know, and I know, that lockdowns would pretty much be the main thing they have on the table as a solution, and nobody wants that.
Nobody at all. So the government has some responsibilities, but we can't run away from it. DeWitt and everybody else, right? We all have a role to play in this matter as well, and we all need to be more responsible. Every single one of us. So it's everybody. It is definitely everybody here. All right, we're going to pick this up a little bit later in the show. We're going to take a break now, though, and be back with more Morning Blend after these messages and AP News. Stay with us.
COVID-19, COVID-19, an enemy that remains unseen.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. The jury in the Derek Chauvin murder trial is anonymous and sequestered. 6 white and 6 black or multiracial men and women will decide whether the former Minneapolis police officer is guilty in the death of George Floyd. They began their deliberations last night as protesters hit the streets. The prosecution and the defense had a final few hours with the jurors as they presented their closing arguments.
In closing statements, defense attorney Eric Nelson said it wasn't a lack of oxygen that killed Floyd.
The drug ingestion, right? The bad heart, the diseased heart, the hypertension.
Prosecutor Steve Slacher told the jury shown what he was doing to Floyd.
He heard him, but he just didn't listen. He continued to push him down.
Slacher also pointed out it's all on video.
That force for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, that killed George Floyd. He betrayed the badge.
Tape from court TV. Chauvin showed little expression. He took off his mask as his attorney presented his closing statement. I'm Ed Donahue.
Should President Biden address the nation when the jury reaches a verdict? It's under consideration, we're told. And the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, says the administration's speaking with local officials around the country about possible trouble after a verdict.
We're in touch with local authorities. We're in touch with states, with governors, with mayors, and certainly, we will continue to encourage peaceful protests, but we're not going to get ahead of the verdict in the trial.
We should hear from the Europeans any time now about the results of their investigation into possible links between the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine and rare reports of blood clots. Former Vice President Mondale has died. He was 93. This is AP News. The U.S. Capitol Police officer who died after the January 6th insurrection died of natural causes, says the medical examiner. The AP's Jackie Quinn's got this.
It was suspected that Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick was struck in the head with a fire extinguisher, and also that he might have ingested a chemical substance like bear spray that a man was videotaped unleashing on January 6th. But the District of Columbia Medical Examiner's Office has now ruled Sicknick suffered a stroke and died from natural causes. Sicknick was injured during the riot. He was one of 5 people who died. This determination that it was natural causes and that his death was not brought on by injury will likely limit federal prosecutors from bringing homicide charges in connection with Sicknick's death. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
The Dow dropped 123 points yesterday. The NASDAQ and the S&P down 2. I'm Rita Foley, AP.
Got your first check of traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Already seeing the heavy traffic on Smile Butler Highway just north of Fire Trail, the northbound lanes heading towards Tawny Golden Starling Highway, as usual, at this hour. Glaston Road also busy this hour, northbound lane heading towards JFK Drive. Elsewhere, we've got building traffic along Blue Hill Road and a couple spots between Carmichael Road and St. Vincent Road northbound. And also north of Soldier Road, northbound lanes heading towards Independence Drive. Independence Drive also busy, westbound heading towards that same roundabout there with Blue Hill Road. Elsewhere, we've got building traffic at some of the major intersections, so along Robinson Road and Prince Charles, major intersections there. And northbound on Marathon looking a little busy, getting busier there, heading towards Wolf Road, roundabout there. Elsewhere, not looking so bad so far, but we'll have another real-time report for you just after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And time for another check of your weather for today. Brought to you by Red. Severe weather warning has been extended now to 9 a.m. A severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Grand Bahama and North Abaco. The thunderstorm warning has been discontinued, though, for Bimini. This has been in effect since earlier this morning. The Department of Meteorology detecting a large cluster of heavy showers with embedded thunderstorms moving eastwards across the warning areas. The system is associated with a quasi-stationary front that is located just north of the extreme northwest Bahamas near central Florida. Some of the thunderstorms will be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding also possible during these storms. Here's what's been happening. We've got this frontal boundary just north of the area that's triggering these pockets of unsettled weather, mainly over the extreme northwest Bahamas. It's lifting northwards, though. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge will dominate weather as it shifts eastwards through tonight. Boaters in the northwest Bahamas should remain alert due to the threat of waterspout activity, as well as reduced visibility in heavy showers and thunderstorms. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas today, turning warm tonight. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, especially across the extreme northwest Bahamas. For the southeastern islands, sunny and hot with a stray shower or two possible, turning fair and warm tonight. High temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, prefrontal activity ahead of a slow-moving cold front approaching the area will spark showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas, while the retreating high-pressure ridge will create some pleasant conditions across the remainder of the islands through Thursday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, we're expecting cloudy and hot conditions with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the extreme northwest Bahamas again. Sunny and warm elsewhere. Thursday, variably cloudy and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms near the cold front in the northwest Bahamas, mostly sunny and hot with a slight chance of a few light showers in the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Rev. Basketball fans, the time is now to sign up or upgrade to Rev Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking, you won't believe who I saw the other day. Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
The Department of Environmental Health Services and the Ministry of Environment is proud to present the Enviro Bahamas app, an app designed to cut down on the wait time of non-collection, swift removal of hazardous items, old furniture, appliances, and the eyesore of community pileup. Skip the call-in hotlines. Get straight to the source. Search Enviro Bahamas in the Google Play Store. Get rid of the crap. Download the app today.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And I say, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun. Bring it up now. And I say, boy, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here. Cause when I turn to party, this drunk and they got me wet. So, boy, my island's in the sun. Time is here. We could be breaking, scraping, winding up and misbehaving. Give me the camels, give me the drums. We're gonna party, party till the morning comes. Can't wind up your waist.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Don Sargent. We'll get back to our discussion about COVID in the country a little bit later in the show. But right now, we want to talk about Mobile Assist. Some exciting news. Bahamians can now open a $SAND account on the Mobile Assist app. And here to tell us all about it, we welcome back to the show, Selena Archer. Selena, good morning. This is great news.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Don. How are you guys this morning?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Morning.
Good. Awesome. Yes. So $SAND on Mobile Assist. We are super excited about that.
All right. So, of course, there are going to be some people who don't know what a $SAND is and some who shockingly won't know what Mobile Assist is. But so give us a brief recap on Mobile Assist, and then we'll talk about $SAND.
Sure. So Mobile Assist is an app that you can download on your phone from the Google Play or App Store. And it allows you to actually complete your transactions online, in a sense, through your phone. So you can transfer money, you can pay bills, you can go shopping. We have Super Value now on the network. We have Rev, we have New Providence Water Company. So at Super Value, you could actually get cash back. It is actually taken the digital dollar and made it possible for us to convert cash now. And with $SAND, which is a digital currency being onboarded to Mobile Assist, what that means now is $SAND holders or account holders can actually transact through Mobile Assist with all of the stores, the 100 and I believe now over 160 vendors on the Mobile Assist app, but also get cash back, which to me is what digital currency should be.
That is amazing. That is amazing. All right, so you mentioned Super Value, and this is at all the locations? Tell us
all the locations in New Providence, which I believe adds up to about like 143 cash points.
Wow.
So when you go to the till and you are cashing out your groceries, you can pay on the app, and then you can convert your $SAND and you can get those out in cash right at the till. So you don't have to go to the ATMs anymore to pull cash out, which, I a terrible experience at the ATM where I was robbed at gunpoint. So now I keep pulling my money on my phone.
Are you serious? That is terrible.
Safety concern. Yeah, it was quite scary. But, in my experience, I think the worst part was the aftermath and trying to reach the bank to cancel my cards so that nobody could use my cards. They also had taken my phone, but I knew that my app was safe because they didn't have my PIN to get in my wallet. So I knew that that was safe. So that took something off of my mind. But, even replacing my ATM cards was a mess. So, for me, it is the alternative now to not put myself in harm's way at the ATMs, just to use my digital cash. And now that I can pay restaurants, pay bills, go shopping, I have no need to carry cash on me because I could always pull it out if I needed to go to a location that maybe didn't accept Mobile Assist or Sand Dollar, because that's the other thing about Sand Dollar. You don't actually have to, the person that you have to have the Mobile Assist app for you to transfer Sand Dollars to them, which again just gives us so much flexibility.
Okay, so explain that part to us. How does that work exactly? What do
So
people
once you go into the app and you create your wallet, you open up your Sand Dollar account. You do this all through the app. I believe it took me 30 seconds to open up a Sand Dollar account.
Okay.
I am now able to get the information of someone that, say, my son. My son often does chores. He gets PayPal money. He can't get that PayPal money back. He has to spend that online. So I have his Sand Dollar account. So what I can do now is I can actually transfer the Sand Dollars to him. So that sits in his Sand Dollar account. Now he downloaded the app because he wanted cash, right? So he went to SuperValue and converted his Sand Dollars over into Mobile Assist tokens and was able just to go to the cashier and pull out his funds because it gave him, more options than just paying him through PayPal and having him just spend his money online.
Right.
The other thing about Mobile Assist is we realize that the digital space can be a little tricky, especially if you're not very familiar with technology. So we've created a series of how-to videos on our YouTube channel. And that basically takes you with 30 seconds through all of the steps from download to converting MATs to Sand Dollar to how it is that you put money on your wallets. Everything is in there.
So no excuses.
Sorry, I know I talk a lot.
No, it's fine.
I get very excited about this.
All right, so I know there was concern that people would be slow to get on board with this, but are people? Have you seen it? People paying people who work for them in Sand Dollar. Are we seeing that now?
Yes, definitely. Even just with Mobile Assist, we've seen just such an uptick in our downloads. We have over 101,000 downloads of the app. And then we've seen about 2,000 users, an increase of 2,000 since I would say maybe October, of people that have registered open wallets and are now transacting. Because, let's face it, when we had that COVID wave and we were all locked down, we had to still pay bills and do everything that we normally would have done.
That's right.
And there were no outlets for that. Well, very little, I should say, unless somebody had, online payments. But, now that I can do everything from my phone, I don't have to worry about that. And I think lockdowns made me a little lazy because if I could do it from my phone, then there's no way I'm driving somewhere.
That's right. And those lines, as we talked about earlier, nobody wants to be stuck on a line like that again.
No,
that's terrifying.
even the ATMs, it's no longer just in and out with the ATMs.
Right.
Let's face facts. You have to stand on that line for maybe about 30 minutes before you can pull cash out. So this just gives now.
Right. Wow. All right, so there's all kinds of incentives here as well, exciting things as part of this. Tell us more about this. I think you have Digital Scratch and Win. What's that all about?
So again, we're, an app-based company. We have technology, and what we're doing for persons that open up their Sand Dollar accounts and create their Mobile Assist wallets, we give out codes at 6 p.m. daily. And what those codes entitle you to is up to $50 in prizing. So when you put the code in your wallet, if it's a winning code, you get up to $50. And there's ranges in there, 5, 10, 15, 20. But, you could win that 50. And they go out daily until the end of the promotion in May. So this is a good time to get on board with the Digital Scape and try it out. And, there's no cost involved in opening a wallet. There's no cost involved in opening up a Sand Dollar account. And there's definitely no cost involved in downloading the app. So it's a good time to try it. And then, if you win the digital cash in your wallet, then you or get the cash back.
Okay, you mentioned no cost, but are there fees at all? What do people need to keep in mind there?
There are no fees for users. In terms of any type of loading of wallets, no fees to transfer funds at the moment. We've kept those out of the equation because we want people to get very familiar and very comfortable with the app. If you go to a Super Value location to get cash back, there is a very, very minimal fee. So I think it's less than $1 if I'm correct.
Wow. That is.
And then again, that still beats my friends the ATM.
It definitely does. It definitely does. So what is the future looking like? I mean, this is, and it's rapidly happening. The acceptance and what the rollout here happening quicker than some might have expected. But what is the future looking like?
I think is looking really, really bright. For me, it's like now we have the option of companies being able to put a portion of their salaries paid or their whole pay onto the Mobile Assist app, because you could go to Super Value and you could get it as cash, right? Or you could just use it and keep it on the wallet to do transactions with our merchants and our vendors. But, I think it was probably last year sometime when I was on the show and you would ask me, what are we doing to help with persons that just don't have any interest in opening up a bank account?
Right.
And this is it.
Yeah.
Because then you get to top up your wallet. You don't need a debit card or a credit card in these instances because your employee is putting the money straight to your wallet. And if you ever notice when you go into some locations, people are bringing their check in there to cash. So it gives, again, another, to not have to go through I can say trauma, and get in trouble for it, the trauma of opening up a bank account.
Right.
But
and
then
avoiding
also
all those.
having that money safe and secure. So you don't have to keep it in your wallet. Because if I keep money in my wallet, my physical wallet, I tend to spend it on things that I don't really need.
So you avoid all the bank fees and all the charges and all those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can hold that money on your wallet for when it is that you need it. And we're really excited in another few weeks to announce something that we're doing with the bus drivers. So that's also exciting. And I'll talk a little bit more about that once it happens. But we're in a very good space. And I think, again, for me being the victim of, an armed robbery, anything that I can do to not put myself in harm's way is perfectly fine. So I have no problem using my app whenever I have the opportunity because it takes the cash off of me.
Yeah. All right. So the big question was, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but I was talking about I was raving about how wonderful my experience was at Road Traffic and their cashless system at Western Esplanade. Is the government walking the talk or talking the walk here? And are we able to use Sand Dollar and Mobile Assist for government services? Are we there yet?
I would have to check with Central Bank to see their full listing of government agencies, but I know that we're currently in talks with social services as well. And benefits will soon be able to be released on the Mobile Assist platform as well. So I do think that government is embracing it. I think that there are some challenges from the government side in signing off on things, that requires a lot of red tape. So, but like you said, with your experience at Road Traffic, it's coming along and it's coming soon. But, things in government tend to move a little less slowly than it would in private enterprise.
Yeah. But this is the future. This is where we're heading, and hopefully a simpler, less stressful life for and safer life for everybody.
Yeah, safer for me is at first, before my incident, it was convenience. It was just super convenient, but safety now has become a priority for me. And I like the fact that, with my kids, they are able then to kind of embrace this digital technology when it comes to how it is that they use and spend their money. And I quite like that for them as well. So, like the kids have their own accounts. We're able to, like I said, transfer money back and forth. Well, they never give it to me. So let me say just transfer money too. But right. It prepares them in a lot of ways for the world that is happening now and evolving as far as it is with transactions and spending.
Yep. All right. So a lot of great questions are coming in. I think we need to do a full show on this because people have a lot of interesting questions. But limits on the account on what you can keep on your Mobile Assist app or on the Sand Dollar. Tell us about that. Are there limits?
There are no limits currently up to $500 where you would have to go through a KYC process. And the thing about Mobile Assist is all of these things are built right into the app, and that YouTube channel will show you how to get your KYC if you wanted to keep more. So if you want to keep 1,500 or 5,000 on the account, then you can do that as well. You just go through a KYC process, which is super simple.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything is done on the app. You upload your pictures of your IDs, and the approval process takes less than 24 hours.
Wow, amazing. And you mentioned it before. We're running out of time. We've got to go to the news. But you mentioned before that there's videos on your YouTube channel. Tell us all about that one more time.
Yeah, so if you go to YouTube at Mobile Assist, you will find there's a section called How To. And in that section, there's about 15 to 20 videos of how it is that you can use the app. Like I say, straight up from download, if you want to send money, there's a video to show you how to do that. If you want to open up a $10 account, if you want to open up your wallet, if you want to load your wallet, like there is everything there as well. So you have every opportunity to kind of have those quick tutorials to kind of get you up to speed on how it is that you can use Mobile Assist for your digital transactions.
All right, wonderful stuff. Selena, we've got to have you back. We've got to have a full show on this. As I said, there's a lot of interest in this. People want to learn a lot more. This is very exciting stuff. Selena Archer, thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much, Dwight and Dawn. I really appreciate you this morning.
And thank you to Mobile Assist. All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news, adding some clarity to the confusion over how many public schools are now grappling with cases of COVID-19. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor yesterday confirmed 5 new infections. He said they include a positive student at H.O. Nash Junior High, at L.W. Young, a teacher at Carlton Francis Primary, and a positive student at Garvin Tynes Primary. The Nassau Guardian reports that the 5th confirmed infection is a student at C.R. Walker Senior High. Taylor said there were concerns at T.G. Glover and Sadie Curtis Primary Schools, but no confirmed COVID cases. He believes 15 people in all were impacted either through infections or contact with the infected, and those schools with positive cases, he said, were all closed for deep cleaning. Still, the Education Minister is confident those cases will not significantly impact in-person learning, even as Teachers Union President Belinda Wilson complains about the lack of timely information being shared with teachers. Bethany McDermott has that.
Education Minister Jeff Lloyd says he's not concerned that the third wave of COVID-19 will impact face-to-face learning, despite concerns raised by BUT President Belinda Wilson.
No, I have no concern at all because we are doing what the health officials have asked us to do, and that is to maintain all of the protocols that we are required to maintain: social distance, wash your hands, wear your masks, and so on. This is an issue of personal responsibility. Naturally, we want to ensure that as much as possible all of our citizens who are able to get their vaccines, but at the same time, we've got to do what we particularly must do.
When asked Monday morning, Lloyd said he's aware of 3 cases in schools reported in the past 4 to 5 days. When asked which schools were affected, Lloyd said he didn't know. Wilson also hit out at education officials as she claims the information isn't getting to teachers in a timely manner.
What is concerning for us, though, is that some principals and the Ministry of Education officials are not forthcoming with the information about the cases, and or they are delayed in informing the teachers, parents, and the union of suspected cases or confirmed. The BUT demands that the teachers be informed in a timely manner. The COVID-19 team address teachers and staff members.
Schools resumed face-to-face learning on New Providence, Abaco, Exuma, and Eleuthera on February 23rd. However, health officials are concerned about the rise in cases, with nearly 600 new COVID cases reported in April already.
Any wave is going to have an impact, and I'm sure that the health officials will guide us as to what we must do in terms of our response. So we wouldn't even want to talk. I don't want to be putting out them negative kind of vibes out in the atmosphere about no wave. We are moving forward to a place where we can get back to our normal as is possible in this, what you might call the post-COVID environment.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Well, with some 620 new cases of COVID-19 in this country already recorded in just the first 19 days of this month, Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pinter-Butler is calling on government to take urgent action to curb the virus's current spread. She told the Nassau Guardian the current situation is beyond critical and that we are set up for a potential disaster if we don't buckle down and try to reinforce COVID safety measures. She wants officials at the Ministry of Health and the PHA to re-engage with union leaders to develop a more professional rather than knee-jerk approach to safeguarding the Bahamian people. Well, Minister for Health Renward Wells has yet to publicly acknowledge that this country is experiencing a third wave of the pandemic, even though we have already recorded more new cases in April than were recorded in all of March. Now, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control has again elevated the Bahamas to a level 4 health notice, describing COVID levels here as very high and advising American travelers to avoid this country. Kyle Joaquin has that.
It's deeply concerning. It is going to impact tourism. Maybe the rebound is not as quick as we expect.
The tourism minister deeply ranking, saying it's not a good thing at all. The CDC has once again placed the Bahamas at level 4 in its COVID-19 ranking, warning of very high COVID-19 levels. The ranking advises Americans to avoid all travel to the Bahamas, that even fully vaccinated travelers may be at risk for getting and spreading variants, and if you must travel, get fully vaccinated and follow precautions like wearing masks and avoiding crowds.
We've all been seeing the number of positive cases, so it was only a matter of time before we cross that threshold and get downgraded from a level 3 to a level 4.
The CDC had lowered the Bahamas' ranking to 3 in late January, which at that time came as welcome news to the Prime Minister.
Because the CDC sees how much progress we have made and are convinced that we will continue to be vigilant.
Despite the warning, the tourism minister stressed that the Bahamas is still a safe destination. He expressed concern, however, about recommendations that could come from health officials and what potential tighter restrictions could have on the tourism industry.
But it's not lost on us that certainly from a touristic standpoint, any or restriction will have a significantly negative impact on the rebound of our economy. And we are slowly coming back. And so this is worrying from that perspective.
The Ministry of Health reported 55 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday as the country experiences a third wave.
It looks a lot like the beginning of the second wave. But in the medical context, in the infectious disease context, we know there are newer variants of concern. Those are mutated strains of the COVID-19 virus, SARS-CoV-2, that are more transmissible, that make people more sick. So that is also a possibility. That people could be that more of the virus could be being transmitted if those variants are here.
Director of the government's infectious diseases program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, says with cases steadily increasing, there will have to be an intervention.
So when I say interventions, I mean that in the broadest context, unless we do something. So that means the public, if we follow the measures, then that will flatten the curve. Control and robust public health policy will flatten the curve. And so I mean that in the broadest possible way.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
A 35-year-old woman allegedly found with fake COVID-19 tests has been charged with 40 counts of possession of forged documents and faces additional charges today. Bethany McDermott reports.
35-year-old Ladira Russell was charged with 40 counts of possession of a forged document. Prosecutors allege that between November 25, 2020 and March 20, 2021, with the intent to deceive, Russell had in her possession forged Doctors Hospital negative COVID-19 RT-PCR tests. She pleaded not guilty to all charges. According to police, these matters are in connection with the recent trend in fraudulent COVID-19 test results. Russell was originally set to be arraigned on 80 counts of possession of a forged document and 80 counts of forgery for a total of 160 charges. However, Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt read only 40 of the 160 charges and explained that she was unable to continue at that time. She will be read the remaining 120 charges on Tuesday morning. Until then, Russell will spend the night at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is denying claims of victimization against employee Kirk Cornish, who was placed on unpaid administrative leave after he was ratified as the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate for North Abaco. In a statement, the corporation argued that unlike other political aspirants who are civil servants, Cornish was not asked to resign, but just placed on leave. The corporation claims that's in line with their industrial agreement, which notes that employees vying for national election are to be given time off without pay to prepare for the election, but can resume their duties within 1 month after the election is unsuccessful. President of the Bahamas Utilities Service and Allied Workers Union Dwayne Woods is charged that the corporation acted prematurely, as attorney Wayne Monroe has argued that no writ of election is outstanding for that constituency. The corporation dismissed that argument. The Progressive Liberal Party claims that Cornish's administrative leave is a matter of clear political victimization, and that if the Prime Minister does not reverse this wrong, both Labour Director John Pinder and PHA consultant Nicole Martin, who have both been ratified as candidates for the Free National Movement, must also leave their government posts. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
I bank wherever I want thanks to Scotia Online and Mobile. I bank from my garden. I bank from my living room. I also bank from my kitchen. No need to wait in line. Now when I bank with Scotia, I bank on my own. Too can bank your way any time of day without ever going into a branch. Find out more. To get started, visit bs.scotiabank.com/digital seniors.
BPC and the government say if oil is found, the Bahamian people will decide what is done with it. But outside of the country, this foreign company is telling its British investors that they have us locked into a 30-year-old production deal that we can't get out of. And they talking about selling oil off the back of a boat? Seriously? More spills? Which story should we believe? Why can't we see the terms of BPC's license? What do they have to hide? Which politicians are benefiting from the oil deal? Sign the petition today at StopBahamasOilDrilling.com. Hashtag no drill, no spill.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9, and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Until June 21st, Pinder Enterprises will be offering weekly or bi-monthly specials. So, continuing with the Pinder Enterprises specials, we bring 2 weeks of deals, April 12th through 21st. Beginning April 12th, Pinder Enterprises is offering 15% off 5 gallons of joint compound with the purchase of 4 sheets of sheetrock. And buy any door at regular price and get 10% off all accessories, including locks and hinges. 15% off 5 gallons of joint compound with the purchase of 4 sheets of sheetrock, and 10% off all door accessories when you buy any door, now through April 21st.
Reggie going to Sunrise one day, but watch please. Miss Wallace say, Reginald, do have a seat and we'll be with you in a minute. He say, well, you just suffer from this too. She say, suffer from what? He say, this. She say, oh, that. Well, I tries to tailor make my services them to fit the needs of all of my customers. Reggie get excited. He say, that's amazing. I get a couple of more watches. I can bring them to you to more. She say, more. He say, yeah. She say, Reggie, I'll be here from 9 o'clock in the morning.
Sun Isles Watch and Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
Jada, jump in the car. Hey girl, your new ride looking good. Y'all, it was rough. No one wanted to insure me as a new driver, and cause I young. Thank goodness Jason told me about Shield Insurance right there across from the police college on Thompson Boulevard. Shield hooked me up with one solid policy at a decent price, minus the shade. Them other companies was joking. Well, I glad you get straight. Call Shield Insurance in Nassau or Freeport. They've got you covered.
Shield Insurance Agents and Brokers.
The Bahamas Development Bank will be hosting a town hall meeting this Thursday, April 22nd at 5:30 at Come and find out ways to access financing for your business through loans, leases, and special projects. Also, a special invitation is extended to residents of the Angliston community, as details for a grant made especially for Angliston will be announced. Space is limited, and COVID-19 protocols will be enforced. Visit the Bahamas Development Bank's Facebook page for more information.
Welcome back. Trade Union Congress President Obi Ferguson is arguing that it is unconstitutional for businesses to demand that their employees take that COVID-19 vaccine. He said he was appalled to hear that some businesses were threatening to dismiss workers who refuse. Jillian Gray has that.
Some people believe they can treat people any old way. And because they don't have the means to sue them, they get away with it. No, it's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
TUC President Obie Ferguson described the mandatory vaccination policy implemented by some businesses as illegal and unconstitutional. While none of the employees represented by the TUC's union have faced this problem, the owners of Sushi Rokan restaurant have given employees until June 30th to take the vaccine or face disciplinary action, including dismissal. Michael Scott, who is the chairman of Lukine Renewal Holdings, co-owns the restaurant. Ferguson says he was taken aback by who it was coming from.
The Director of Labor did agree that that's unlawful. I must admit that. So at least there seemed to be two trend of thought here. He is saying one thing, and the Director is saying something to the American public. And that's when you have people in the wrong job.
A survey to gauge vaccine hesitancy among medical professionals revealed that 60% of them were apprehensive. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan says they're holding unions say they've yet to hear from the Ministry of Health.
For meetings for over 6 months. We only got one last week. And even at that meeting, it's the same old conversation. We're going to meet again. We're going to meet again. We heard that 6 months.
You have not partners with the union? Nor the doctors' union, nor the nurses' union. And we've been in several meetings expressing on several occasions, that's the documentation. That has encouraged our nurses. That has opened, once you have informed, people will then join. They haven't done that.
The Nurses Union president says only former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands has reached out to answer nurses' questions on the vaccine. The medical unions are pushing for a greater level of participation and inclusion in the process, adding vaccinations should be voluntary.
Immunization in this country has not been mandatory, and I don't think it should start now. However, we cannot let our guards down, even though persons may have COVID fatigue.
It's not mandatory that any employer can make their workers take the vaccine. It's not. I've heard the same thing. I've got many calls. So again, we're not going to let the employers exploit the workers during this pandemic.
A congressional union meeting will be held in 7 days to unite on this and several other issues. After that, union leaders say they'll be taking action as a united front. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jillian Gray.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I am. Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy, the one with the dogs?
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid top appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
If you're a business owner, get ready because the digital transformation is here. As a business owner, you now face the choice between innovation and extinction, but you don't have to get left behind. Join the click with Cable Bahamas Business Solutions and transform your office to get the competitive advantage. With innovative solutions like our fixed and mobile services, hosted PBX, Bahamas Cloud, and more, you can redefine your business. For more information on how you can join the click, contact the experts at Business Solutions at cablebahamas.com.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you ain't too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want Junior to give me washing machine.
Washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island now and 3 people got to use your car, I figure we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to drying if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior get you again?
$1,600 worth of tokens. That's how much the washing machine costs.
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them token.
My lord.
Summer wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
This traffic report brought to you by
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:22, it's time for the check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here, weather warning still in effect until 9 o'clock this morning for portions of the extreme northwest Bahamas, mainly Grand Bahama and North Abaco. An earlier severe thunderstorm warning for Bimini has been discontinued. But again, for Grand Bahama and North Abaco, the severe thunderstorm warning in effect as a result of this quasi-stationary front that's located just north of the extreme northwest Bahamas and near central Florida. Thunderstorms associated with this will be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding also possible as a result of this. So we've been seeing this overnight, and it continues today and will continue for a bit. It's all part of a frontal boundary just north of the area that's triggering these unsettled pockets of weather, mainly over the northwest Bahamas as it lifts northward. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge will continue to dominate weather elsewhere as it shifts eastwards through tonight. Boaters in the northwest Bahamas should be alert due to the threat of possible waterspout activity, as well as reduced visibility and heavy showers and thunderstorms. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, we're expecting variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly, again, in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Tonight should be warm, and showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times across the extreme northwest Bahamas. For the central southeastern islands, sunny and hot with a stray shower or two possible, turning fair and warm tonight. 79 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, prefrontal activity ahead of a slow-moving cold front approaching the area will spark showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas, while the retreating high-pressure ridge will create pleasant weather conditions across the remainder of the islands. So, for Wednesday, we're looking at cloudy and hot conditions with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the extreme northwestern islands, sunny and warm elsewhere. Thursday, variably cloudy and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms near the cold front in the northwest Bahamas. Mostly sunny and hot with a slight chance of a few light showers in the central and southeastern islands. That's your morning blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. It is looking pretty busy out there, folks. A lot of hot spots to tell you about. Independence Drive, not pleasant at all. Both directions, mainly westbound, but eastbound as well. You're not going to be moving much at this point in time. Both directions. Robinson Road might be a better alternate route for you. And if you can get to Soldier Road, that might also be better for you. But East Street South, especially northbound, is pretty busy between Soldier and East-West Highway, Independence Drive at this moment. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy northbound, especially that intersection, that roundabout with Independence Drive. Carmichael eastbound, very heavy traffic and backed up quite a ways heading east towards Blue Hill Road. And Blue Hill is busy between Carmichael and especially St. Vincent, but also further down at that intersection with Zion Boulevard and Cowpen Road and South Beach Road. Elsewhere, we've got Tamara Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic northbound from well south of Fire Trail up to Tonique Williams Darling Highway. Fire Trail also backed up eastbound at this hour. Gladstone Road, heavy traffic northbound north of Fire Trail to John F. Kennedy Drive. Other hot spots for you, you've got Eastern Road, heavy traffic westbound and well east of Fox Hill Road this morning, so that's not looking good there. Prince Charles Drive looking a little bit better, but still heavy as you get closer to Fox Hill Road, and the Fox Road northbound also busy there, and other pockets along Prince Charles like Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, Prince Charles Soldier Road from north of Prince Charles not looking good at all the way up to Village Road this morning, and Bernard Road westbound is also pretty busy. So we've got a lot of issues this morning. It's going to be a challenging commute if you have to be somewhere for 9 o'clock. Good luck to you. But that's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
traveling around the world, infecting men, women, boy, and girl, causing folks to quarantine. I'm talking about COVID-19. Coronavirus, you're a pest.
Sorry, let me tell you this why we're going on. What I did? I remember this gal who I was talking to. Had a loving and they thought it was true. I was all for her, she was all for me. Then I catch this gal at a BNB. But a face way dog, every time I go to give him a try, some tidbits go wrong. Now I got this frown and my belly break down and they got me singing this song.
No more, before, broke my jaw, for sure, I don't love like this no more. Last time I fall in love, I got my heart terrified. I love this girl so much, I didn't know what to do.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. Don?
Still alive.
Oh, hey, wonderful stuff. We are going to resume our conversation from earlier about what's happening with the COVID numbers in the country. I know we got a lot of your messages, didn't get a chance to get to them, but we still have some people asking about what we were talking about just now. That was the Mobile Assist. Look up the app in your App Store or Google Play Store, and you can find more information online about them. And I've posted some on our Facebook page, on our social media, on our Twitter, so you can look there, and that'll provide you with some links to their website, and you can do that right now. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more information about what you hear on the show. Okay, you can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or facebook.com/MorningBlend969. You can text us 422-4796, and you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right, let's read some of these messages. Someone says here, the Bahamas is at a crossroad with a slowly rebounding economy and a rise in COVID cases. Another lockdown will definitely set us back, God forbid, a border closing. I know people were trying to spread rumors about that yesterday. Some people really want some heartache and hardship for the place. I don't know why you spread these things so easily and casually, and I just don't understand it, but boy. Another one here. We seem to be focusing on cases instead of deaths and hospitalizations. I guess if they focused on deaths and hospitalizations, we would have to admit the early emergency room protocols caused many of the early deaths. It is taboo for professionals to admit they made mistakes. They also go on to say, it only looks like the government has bad choices because they are trying to manipulate people instead of inform. COVID cases aren't the problem. Deaths and hospitalizations from COVID is. Unfortunately, all these experts completely ignore this fact. Well, one leads to the other, and so you can't ignore it, right? And we know we have a very unhealthy population. We've known that for many years. We've got a lot of people with a lot of pre-existing conditions that make them more susceptible to a serious form of COVID if they do get it. And so we have to be concerned about the number of cases. Yes, small numbers, comparatively speaking. When you have a very sick population, the risk is higher as well. So we can't be so casual. We've been saying that for a year. We can't be so casual about it because some people don't even know how sick they are. They don't know at all. And you may think you might be like all the others who get COVID and have 2 bad weeks and they're fine afterward. But that might not be you. Might not be you at all.
Yeah, why take the chance?
Why take the chance?
Test the theory?
Exactly. Or at least have some compassion for somebody else around you. You might be fine, but will your wife, husband, grandmother, that person right next to you, will they be okay? Right? So you can't be so casual about it.
And I know of a case, 2 cases where someone got sick with COVID. They had I wouldn't say an extremely rough time, but they stayed away from work and stuff, but they were manageable according to them. And they ended up giving it to their grandparent that they lived with, who promptly died within 2 weeks of contracting the virus. They ended up in the hospital. These things went downhill from there.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not happy to say that either. I'm just saying, like, it's not always about you. It's about those around you that you live with and those who are high risk that you may live with or have to come into constant contact with, especially if you're a caregiver for an older parent or an older family member, which is kind of the whole purpose of the original rollout of the vaccine here was for persons over the age of 60, as well as the caregivers who, if you got to see this person, you bring in the virus to them when you're bringing help or bringing food or whatever. So, that's the real risk, is that the at-risk people will get it from persons who may be asymptomatic or just don't have that bad of a time, as you said earlier.
Yep. Definitely. This text here. Good morning. I think the CDC is only putting out this opening in June, which is not good for Florida. Really now. Okay. We as a public need to get our act together so our economy can move ahead. It could be that. Or it could be the fact that our numbers are double what they were in December and January. So, yeah, it could be. Okay. Another one here. Excuses. I don't know who's making the excuses. That was from earlier, so who knows what we were talking about at that time. That was from 7-something this morning, Don. Do you remember what we were talking about at 7:20? Who was making excuses?
Something about the government? I don't know.
Probably.
I think it was the caller who said something that this was the government's fault.
Oh.
Okay. That we're in this situation. And I was just saying, like, their solutions to this is like to put down the sledgehammer with lockdowns.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, what we're asking for is like surgery. But like, I haven't seen any government perform surgery. Everybody's using the hammer method to deal with, the virus with lockdowns.
Yep. Another text here. Happy Tuesday, Dwight and Don. Florida is not reporting the numbers honestly because of the governor's control of the COVID-19 infections information. Yeah, that governor's got some issues over there. But, boy, I mean, he can't control it. He can't suppress it all. And some of the other cities and counties they are not going to fall under that, right? But I know what you're saying, and I understand. I see some odd things that he's doing. And so, yeah, be wary of what you hear coming out of Florida.
What's another thing? I don't know if they're doing the same thing, but don't forget what happened in New York with Governor Cuomo, right? Who's been asked to resign, who refuses to resign. I'm not just resign, but anyway, especially with them, I don't want to use the word fudging the numbers, but obfuscating the numbers. The number of persons I think were dying in hospital, or not in hospital, sorry, were dying in elderly care facilities. Also, persons who were dying in hospitals. Some of the numbers were misrepresented, which that caused a whole scandal with that. Now, I'm not saying the same thing's happening in Florida, but I've seen some very strange things go down with that governor. So I don't know.
Yep, definitely. Just stop all campaigning now, please. Okay, yeah. Not only us are included, the CDC has announced a travel ban for 80% of the countries worldwide. So in your opinion, Dwight, what should happen since people aren't heeding the safety protocols? Yeah. Boy. I don't know. I mean, that just seems, be responsible, right? I mean, we can't lock everybody up, and we don't want to lock everybody down. So, I mean, is that what it takes for people to listen? To lock everything down, to do that again, to go back to where we were? That can't be it, right? At some point, I mean, especially, and these are the people who are partying the most are the ones who don't want to take the vaccine. I don't understand. I don't really know, other than people have to take the responsibility. This is the same conversation we had yesterday about the family and the situations here. How, to me, most of this lays at the foot of our family structure and just the blasé attitude that we have with raising our children. Not everybody, but far too many. This is the same thing here. Not entirely, but it's a big part of it. We have to be more responsible, right? right? And put off that
But
trip.
that's
put
the
off
thing,
that
though.
party.
It's like, I from what I'm hearing, not just on social media, but even on the show sometimes, it's like, where's the conversation about personal responsibility? Like, you make the choice to go to these places, to do these things. Like, individuals make these choices, right? I can't think of a single weekend I've had in the last 2 months where there wasn't a party every single day of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right, in my neighborhood. And I said, I'm not against people having parties, right? Some of them, it's obviously not socially distanced, but I just go about my business. And I'm impressed by some of the things I've seen at some of the, I don't want to call them nightclubs, because I don't know if they're supposed to be open, but some of the evening joints that people go and congregate at, right? They've built their whole setups outside. It's like the whole fencing and netting, so you can't see what's happening behind there. But it's like they're taking the measures seriously, which wasn't the case, I think, late last year and early January. So I'd say businesses have made some leaps and bounds. Some have gone into extra expense. I've seen some restaurants transition to outdoor dining because they obviously don't have the capacity. Well, it's not allowed at the moment for them to have indoor dining. So it's not as if like private enterprise hasn't spent the money and put the money where the mouth is and tried to follow as many of these measures as possible. So I don't know, Dwight, but it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because I don't want lockdown to happen, but I know that if it continues, it's a very likely scenario.
Yeah. Only weekend partying? Yeah. Okay. So what's I always wonder about the netting thing. So you can't see us partying. So see no COVID, get no COVID. Is that what's going on?
I'm going to be positive and say that I think because the COVID, to be fair, the COVID patrol regularly stops in and checks in these places, and I mean, like, I talk about one car. It's be like a gang of them COVID cars, like with 5 and 6 of them right behind each other, and they just come out, they just block off the parking lot and walk in and do what they got to do. I've seen it several times when I've drove past, and things are happening.
But
right?
is the party done when they leave? Or
I think once or twice I've seen that happen. I've seen the COVID police and the police shut down. No, the parties no. But they go to businesses. But the private parties, people's houses, I've never seen the COVID patrol there. Yeah. And some of them seem to be socially distanced, but some I've seen that have not been, and I just go about my business. But it's like it's insanity sometimes.
I knew this was going to happen. Someone's asking which area do you live in so they can attend these events on the weekend. But no, don't answer them. Don't answer them. Let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Don, how you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Great.
Quick question. In regards to the vaccine, is there any mandatory travel restrictions attached to the vaccine if one takes it or doesn't take it?
Meaning what? What do you mean exactly?
If you don't take the vaccine, you're prohibited from traveling.
Nobody said that yet. That hasn't happened yet, but we are all expecting to hear something like that soon.
So no such mandate or edict has been put out by the U.S. State Department? Or
No. The cruise ships, I think at least one cruise line has said that, I think I heard somebody say that. But we expect that's heading in that direction.
Yeah, that's also been reflected by British Airways, who talked about they wanted to do I don't want to call it a vaccine passport, but they wanted to ensure that majority of their passengers are vaccinated. If not, you're going to have to wear a mask on board and do a test before and after or something like that. Yeah. And it's going to cost you more money. So, but it hasn't been mandated yet. But we do believe more and more businesses will push for it.
So you say that there's a move afoot to make it mandatory to either have the vaccine or you can't travel, kind of a thing?
We appear to be heading that direction.
I wouldn't say you can't travel. Well, it depends, right? I know, like I said, for the situation with British Airways, their thing is if you're not vaccinated, you pay for all these tests and your ticket's going to be more expensive because it's all going to be included in the price of your ticket.
Right.
Now, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, then. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Wow. Okay. Let's take another one. Good morning. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
You know, it's so ironic, Dwight, and who's that you have with you?
Don Sargent.
Listen, the COVID test you have to pay for, right? But the vaccine is voluntary. Why can't we make the vaccine voluntary? I mean, the test voluntary just as we got the vaccine? Because what happened is we put in the cart before the horse. We don't even have an idea how many persons are being tested to say that there is, we know that there's a third wave, but they're just definitely not admitting it as yet. What happened to the contact tracing that they started off with?
I mean,
What's up with the contact tracing?
They're still doing that.
They are? Well, Dwight, let me say this to you. I personally think they should do more testing and then worry about getting the vaccine. You know why I say that? If we have, say, for instance, in New Providence, we got about, we test like 50,000 persons. And out of 50,000 persons, about 30,000 tested positive for the virus. Then we know we can't vaccinate those 30,000 at this time, but we could ask them to be vaccinated. You understand what I'm saying to you? I think we are shooting ourselves in the foot because we are heading for lockdowns, which is not going to do us any good. By now, the authorities should have some sort of program in place in case of this spread. I mean, if in case like how we now the numbers are rising again, they should have some sort of program in place to counteract it. You can't stop it, but at least you can slow it down. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, sure. I hear
vaccines. I don't think we have enough, to be quite honest. I did not expect to see, because I got my shot. I didn't expect to see as many people participating as I did, right? And I was actually surprised to see there was a lot of older Bahamians who were there as well, and their family members who are caretaking to them. But I think they paused, didn't they, Dwight? They paused the what's the word I'm looking for? The appointments and stuff. We're supposed to be getting some more vaccines coming in. Plus, people have to get.
Yeah. It's resumed. It's resumed. I think Loyola Hall is back. I think tomorrow, from what I saw.
I thought it was something to do with stock or something like that. Because you have a bunch of people, including myself, who are supposed to. So they say get our second shot in May. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot. But I understand the person's point about more testing. So, but that people say, you don't give the people who actually have the virus the vaccine, because I don't think that's in the instructions which you're supposed to be doing.
You should.
I think. Yeah, but good point. But at the same time, I don't even think we have enough vaccines.
Yeah.
To meet the current demand we have for persons who are trying to get vaccinated.
No, we definitely don't. But people have been saying that everyone's been saying that the testing should be free. It should be free, and it is in some places, but it should be free across the board so that people can not be guessing or not pretending or whatever it is that causes people not to get tests, right? That needs to happen.
That it should be free also because, this is my opinion. If you are in a situation where you've been unemployed and you worked in tourism and you were just getting money off of national insurance or whatever savings you had, and let's say you have a family to feed and you've eaten away at those savings, and you have a reason to believe that you've contracted coronavirus, like shelling out that $130 when you just get a couple of dollars from national insurance isn't necessarily a smart choice, right? If I were in that situation, there's no way in hell I'm putting $130 down. We're only getting $107 from national insurance. Mm-hmm. So no, I 100% agree. I thought that the situation was ridiculous, and the amount of, I know, but 4 different people who were trying to get tests from government clinics and were turned around and denied, even though they got a referral, presented all the, you can't get it.
It's terrible.
So you need to go to a private clinic. So no, I'm with that.
Yeah,
I agree. It should be free, or it should have been easier for people, especially if you presented symptoms, to get the test rather than sending people from South Beach to whatever private clinic.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Good morning.
Wonderful, man. Great conversation. I'm enjoying it. I just want to give my 2 minutes to chime in. To me, just an opinion, it's nonsensical to lock the country down again. It's nonsensical for us to go back. It took a while for us to get to this point. So just like how the government, every time some disaster, something takes place, they hire one of their senators to become the minister of this, the minister of that. Well, what you could do now is hire a little bit more of those COVID police, okay? Put some on the beach, okay? Some in public areas. Give them the emergency order, because this is an emergency and this is detrimental to us. Okay, this is the third wave. It's very important. You see, the natives, which is myself and the rest of the folks here in the inner city, wouldn't take it serious if we don't see that you're serious. You know, you have to show the detriment of it. Okay, and just like how you go inside the House of Assembly and you decide to pass this bill because it's politically correct for you, then do something that is important here for us. Here it is. These people are sending our name out there saying to don't come here. We need that food to eat, man. We need that. Okay, and you have to show that you're willing to so those tourists can come. Okay. And I pray God and government hurry up, pull up their socks, man. Thanks for letting me share.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get to more of your calls and more of your messages. This is Morning Blend on a Tuesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stronger, wiser. Can we make up for the last time you asked me? Can we go back to where we used to be?
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy, the one with the dogs?
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual fund wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different. Imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
I'm stronger and wiser than anyone you've ever seen. So baby, you can take the belief. I'm stronger and wiser than maybe you'll ever be. I'm stronger and wiser than you and me. Than you and me.
Back here with the Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. Let's read a couple of these messages and I'll take those calls. This one says, Dwight, the vaccines are up and running and they are very organized. Despite our nervousness about the potential side effects, my husband and I got it and we're fine. It was a great experience. Okay. This is an odd text here. The challenge with voluntary versus paid testing is that Bahamians traditionally don't get tested. Look at our HIV testing history. What? What?
Wow, the shade.
No, but I don't understand. It's so different. It's not comparable.
It is different.
It's not comparable at all. And like you said, most people will go through a COVID infection, and they'll be fine, right? So I don't see how. I mean, HIV is life, and that's
you're
totally
not going to be
different.
fine without getting treatment for HIV or tested. But I get their point. I guess their point is that we don't like to go to the doctor. And we don't like to get tested for anything.
If it's free, it's going to be different.
I mean, it's with NHI. You can get your blood work and STD test once a year for free.
No. Again, right? The consequences of what you might find out, that's totally different with an HIV or STD test. But with COVID, okay, either you do or you don't.
I understand what you're getting at. The gravity of both situations are different.
And it's good to know that you need to isolate for a few days or a couple of weeks and that you won't put people at risk, people who are not as healthy as you are, who could get sick and die.
I think one is 2 days, and in the minds of people, the other one is isolate sexually from a lot of people for life. It is a different scenario,
doesn't mean
but I
it isn't
understand
there.
your point. I guess like the hesitancy with getting tested and stuff, but I don't know.
That's crazy. I don't understand. Anyway, okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on there. Caller, good morning. Okay, let's take the other one there. Are you there, caller? Good morning. You're on there. No. Okay, 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-425. Now only a couple minutes left. But, I think we got through most of the messages.
This makes me wonder, though, Dwight, if we approach the situation in the Bahamas where we have, let's say, 80% vaccinated, I wonder, will we still have the mask mandates and stuff? And also, too, on the person's point about the vaccine and reactions, listen, I wouldn't say the word champion, but I was, I guess, saying on this show, and my show as well on Guardian, I was a champion for the vaccine. I think people should take it. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. But I also took it. I had probably one of the worst reactions you could have. I had every single side effect. I still have some side effects. I think it's been more than 10 days. The loss of appetite thing still lingers. But everybody reacts differently. Yes, everybody reacts differently. I think I've had
how much of a loss of appetite?
Otherwise I don't feel like eating at all. Like
Seriously?
if I don't think about it, I will not eat all day.
Well, that might encourage a lot of people to take the vaccine.
Come on, just get along the other woman. Anyway, like I was
some of us have our COVID weight to shed. Okay, well that's interesting.
Well, I actually have begun to lose weight, but yeah, I'm just saying. Like I think people, if you feel as if you're ready for it, or if you are a caregiver to an older family member or something of the sort, I think you should really consider it. Read upon it, weigh out the options, make your decision.
Okay, interesting. Let's take this call really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on there.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, Sparky. I'm confused in regards to the vaccine myself because I have been listening to a lot of social media, a lot of news and everything. I'm getting a lot of positives. I'm getting a lot of negatives. People say it's not even a vaccine. It's gene therapy, this and that and the next. But in regards to these companies that are so-called forcing employees to take the vaccine or else they will lose employment, right? Like we've been hearing around here, for example, the sushi company or whatever it was. Now, if my employer forces me to take the vaccine or else by the 30th of the month I will lose my employment. If I go and get the vaccine and I have a side effect or whatever happens, who's going to pay for that? If I get ill, who's going to pay for that? And can I, as an employee, tell my boss, okay, when your customers come in here to the restaurant, do you have something from them showing that they had the vaccine?
Yeah.
So can we make the customers walking into the restaurant
we've
show a
been
yellow
talking about
card or
that.
green card?
We've been
to
talking
say
about that quite a
they
lot.
took the vaccine?
Why has there been no,
Right, they said that, okay, the boss and his wife took it. He instructed them to staff to take it. But now people walking in there with COVID, do they have something to say whether they took the test or whether they took the vaccine? How could they walk in free and sit down and I have to be in their presence serving them when they could be the one giving me the doggone COVID?
That is right. Yep. Still no mention. We were
The
waiting to
customer
hear.
can prove too, right?
That's what we want to hear. Thank you, Sparky. We've been asking about that. What is the policy on that? It just doesn't matter. As long as they have money, we'll take them, no matter what they got. And that's generally how it works around here in any event, eh? Yeah. Oh, boy. Anyway, Don, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's been great, man.
We'll talk again next week. Everybody else, stay tuned. Morning Blend Business is coming up. We're going to be talking about, with Earth Day fast approaching, what businesses need to do to reduce their carbon footprint and to be more environmentally conscious and aware and responsible, all of that. And some good tips I'm sure you'll get for you as well in your personal lives. That's coming up in Morning Blend Business right after this. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Calling the current escalation in COVID-19 cases beyond critical, Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pinda Butler is calling on government to take urgent action to curb the virus's spread. She told the Nassau Guardian, "We are set up for a potential disaster if we don't buckle down and try to reinforce COVID safety measures." She wants officials with the Ministry of Health and the PHA to re-engage with union leaders to develop a more professional approach to safeguarding the Bahamian people. Already this month, the country has recorded some 620 new cases of COVID-19, more than all of the cases recorded last month. COVID-19 infections have forced the temporary closure of some public schools for deep cleaning. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor yesterday confirmed 5 new cases, including a positive student at H.O. Nash Junior High, a positive administrator at L.W. Young, a teacher at Carlton Francis Primary, and a student at Emory. The Nassau Guardian reports that the 5th case is a student at C.R. Walker Senior High. Education Minister Jeffrey Lloyd insists those matters are under control and should not dramatically impact in-person learning at schools. Teachers Union President Belinda Wilson has accused education officials of withholding information from teachers about new cases of the virus and their possible exposure to those cases. And a woman accused of forging COVID-19 test results is expected to face an additional 120 charges when her arraignment continues today. 35-year-old Ladaria Russell was formally charged with 40 counts of possession of a forged document yesterday, but Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt postponed reading of the additional charges due to the court's busy calendar. Prosecutors claim Russell had in her possession Doctors Hospital Health System's negative COVID-19 RT-PCR tests in the names of other people. She has denied the charges against her. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time. This traffic report brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Well, the final traffic watch now this hour. It looks like it may be a late morning for some gang, but the consistent traffic flow moving both over JFK and Tony Fulton Darling Highway. The exits of both Glasson Road and Tamalabala, well, they are challenged to get their traffic lines out in a timely manner through the roundabout so that we have what we have now, extensive active lines. Eager to get out because once clear of these heavy laden thoroughfares in the southwest gateways, moving about the inner city is an easy ride. Carmichael Road got a backup line slowly getting out there onto Blue Hill Road, and then the slowdown on top of the hill, also heavily laden, and the traffic is slow moving through there. But quite a number of persons will be turning up after 9 today. Independence Drive, heavily laden on both the east lanes getting onto the East Street roundabout, and also on the west side, those west lanes getting into that Blue Hill Road roundabout. As we got closer to 9 o'clock this morning, we saw Soldier Road ramp up a bit on the south end, passing Abundant Life Road, and also on the north end, going through the Wolf Road traffic light intersection. Leaving Burnett Road, you were caught up in a solid traffic line getting onto Wolf Road, and leaving the Eastern Road is still a challenging ride. Lots of traffic trying to get out of there as well. By this time, the West Bay traffic heading uptown, hectic as well. Slow ride into the city. So the run for 9 a.m. this morning was quite evident, and unfortunately, a lot of you are still out there caught up in that late run. This National Traffic Report is a service of Bahamas Cooperative League Insurance Brokers Limited. They're located Russell Road in Oaksfield. BCLIPL offers a great medical plan, general insurance, long-term insurance, and best rates on your car and home. Follow BCLIPL on Facebook or call them at 302-0100. With your Ryan Sky, look at traffic in real time. I'm VANN.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The nation is preparing to hear the verdict in the Derek Chauvin murder trial, whenever it comes and whatever it is. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani.
Aides and officials say the administration's debating whether President Biden should address the nation after a verdict. The Justice Department sending specially trained community facilitators to help mediate disputes. Police departments around the country are preparing for potential rioting, including here in Washington. The Army has approved 250 National Guard troops to help protect the nation's capital, only about a quarter of the total the district requested. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The jury in Minneapolis spent a few hours deliberating last night and will be back at it this morning. Chauvin is charged with murder and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. The most serious charge against him carries up to 40 years in prison. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio,
Your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Today, with Earth Day just 2 days away, we are going to be talking about the environmental impact of businesses, what businesses can do to reduce their carbon footprint and can be more environmentally friendly and to possibly even save some money. We're going to get into that this morning. That's straight ahead. But first, it's time for Morning Blend Business Report brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, as COVID-19 cases escalate in what is now being called the third wave, and the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reinstating the Bahamas on its level 4 travel warning, the president of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association said the country has come too far to veer off course at this critical stage. Robert Sandy Sands urging workers in the tourism sector to remain vigilant so as not to jeopardize the positive steps taken so far. A level 4 warning from the CDC advises travelers to avoid all travel to the Bahamas. Although visitors entering the country have to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test, lower cases have boded well for the Bahamas in the past few months as tourism officials highlighted the country as a safe place to travel. As a result, visitor arrivals more than doubled in March compared to December when major hotels reopened. In December, there were significantly fewer new cases of COVID-19 in double digits weekly. There have been more than 600 new cases so far this month alone. Meanwhile, Sands says the Bahamas has been taking steps in the right direction with the rollout of vaccines, and this new travel notice by the CDC, quote, was not a step in the direction the Bahamas wants to go. The ability to move cruise passengers to New Providence as cruise lines begin their home porting in about 2 months, not something to sneeze at. According to Bahamas Air Chairman Tommy Turnquest, he told Guardian Business yesterday that the airline is in the midst of figuring out logistics and ironing out pricing for those specialty flights. Bahamas Air, which has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, jumped at the opportunity to shuttle cruise passengers from Florida to Nassau as Royal Caribbean International and Crystal Cruises begin home porting in the country in June and July, respectively. Given that both cruise itineraries are a week long, Turnquest lamented that the flights would only be once per week, but he maintains that some business is good business. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. 4 already ratified acts designed to improve performance and accountability in regards to the country's public finances will come into effect by this summer, as myriad changes need to be made to government mechanisms and offices, and training needs to take place before the changes in those acts can be implemented within government departments. That's according to the Ministry of Finance. The Public Finance Management Act, Public Debt Management Act, and the Statistics Act will come into effect on July 1st, while the Public Procurement Act is slated to come into effect on September 1st. And the Bahamas' first central bank digital currency, the sand dollar, listed as the top retail digital currency in the just-released PwC Global CBDC Index. The Bahamas beat out world financial giants, including China and Sweden, to land the top spot, with the sand dollar receiving a global retail index of 92. With more than 60 central banks exploring digital currencies since at least 2014, only 23% of retail projects reached the implementation stage. Cambodia is the only other nation with a live CBDC and is ranked second on the list. Read more about this in today's Guardian business section as well. Overseas, as U.S. President Joe Biden convenes a virtual climate summit on Thursday with 40 world leaders, he faces a vexing task: how to put forward a non-binding but symbolic goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions that will give a tangible impact on climate change efforts not only in the U.S. but throughout the world. The emissions target, eagerly awaited by all sides of the climate debate, will signal how aggressively Biden wants to move on climate change, a divisive and expensive issue that has riled Republicans to complain about job-killing government overreach, even as some on the left worry Biden has not gone far enough to address a profound threat to the planet. The climate crisis poses a complex political challenge for Biden, since the problem is harder to see and far more difficult to produce measurable results on than either the coronavirus pandemic relief package or the infrastructure bill. The target Biden chooses is setting the tone for the level of ambition and the pace of emission reductions over the next decade, according to White House advisors. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market movers. Benchmark moving 2,000 shares, closing down 16 cents to 146. Commonwealth Bank moving 20,000, down 7 cents to 290. Commonwealth Brewery moving 1,658, down 10 cents to 430. Consolidated Water up 5 cents, closing at 261. And Emira Incorporated down 7 cents, closing at 1128. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 1,947.80, down 10.84. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. You're listening to Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969 or text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay with us.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Wait, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers, then he send me the meters boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become A whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and drunk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
KB and Sting, coming with the heavy ting. Come on, woo! Oh yeah! Yes! I's a bohemian, hair and born and bred. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I dead. I's a bohemian, and I always late. If you want me there by 9, better tell me come 8.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business. And we continue. It's a theme now, I guess, for the week with Earth Day approaching. Yesterday we talked about electric vehicles in the future with that here in the Bahamas. And today we're going to look at businesses and reducing your carbon footprint and what you can do to be more efficient in your operations. And here to guide us through it, very pleased to welcome back to the show from the Chamber of Commerce, Director of Energy and the Environment, Debbie Deal. And you're also with the National Climate Change Committee as well. Debbie, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
It's great to be here, and especially, with Earth Day being tomorrow.
Yeah.
We really have
Thursday,
to...
22nd, yeah.
Oh,
Thursday,
is it?
Thursday. Mm-hmm.
Time just flies.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. All right. So this is our businesses here thinking about these things, about their carbon footprints and emissions and those type things.
A lot of businesses and churches have really made an effort over the last 3 or 4 years to actually do something, and I don't know if it's directly related with carbon emissions, because a lot of times people don't even understand what that's all about. I mean, in your just before, right, you talked about Biden talking about greenhouse gases, right? And people go, what is a greenhouse gas? Well, it's carbon and methane. Those are the two largest that are affecting our climate and our temperature change, And as we've signed on to, as a country, to the Paris Agreement, which is keeping our temperatures between 1.5 and 2 degrees Celsius a rise.
And we did sign on to that.
We did sign in 2016.
Yep.
So we need to honor that. And by honoring it, we have to actually reduce our carbon emissions, because methane we don't have. We don't grow. We don't have cows here. We don't have anything like that. Our farming is
not enough
very,
to impact anything.
No. Actually, when you see a cow, you go, oh, wow.
It's
I haven't. Yes, because
it's like seeing an elephant.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from, right?
Yeah.
But people have really understood that they can reduce their energy consumption. And by reducing their energy consumption, whether it be through their business, through the vehicles that they have, through how they travel, all of these things, whether they, cut down trees. If you're building, if you clear out the entire property and not leave any trees, you're causing, you're reducing an object that will actually absorb our carbon, right? So lately, especially when energy costs were extremely high and precarious, as a matter of fact, because you never knew when the power was going to go off. Not that has changed much, but it has been a lot worse. people were thinking, okay, what can I do? I've got to reduce my energy consumption. And that's the first stage that you actually have to do if you want to go into alternative energy.
Right.
You can't just say, well, I'm just going to live and just let everything run, and I'm not going to be concerned about how much I use, but I'm going to use an alternative energy source to actually do that. Well, no, you're not going. You're going to have to actually reduce it.
Right.
So a lot of businesses have really taken things in their own control. Now, there's things you can do with reducing your energy costs and therefore your carbon emissions. There's things you can do that cost nothing. There's things that you do that cost a little, and there's things that you do that will cost money, but in the end it will save you money. And people go, oh, what does that mean? Why would I do that? Well, think about when you send a child off to university or a teenager off to university. It may cost you $250,000 to send a child to university, right? Well, you think, wow, that's a lot of upfront money.
Yep.
You know, that's like switching for your air conditioning unit from a 13 SEER to a 20 SEER. Like, oh gosh, that's a lot of money. But yes, but when that child gets out of school, they can recoup that money in possibly 2 years, right? So that's I want to use that as a way of explaining it, because oftentimes people don't get it when I say change your air conditioner and it's going to cost you money up front, but you'll get your money back. That's how you get your money back.
Right.
So imagine when you're doing that, you're sending your child off to college, right? And what you will get back for that, right? That's the purpose in doing something like that. But the free things you can do.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right. Well, there's ghost thieves. I call them ghost thieves. There's ways where your energy is just sucked out and you don't even realize that you're doing it. You know, I don't know about you, but most people that I know have phone chargers in every room in their house.
Plugged in all day. All
There
night.
you go, right? You know, we have all of these things in our house that are plugged in that let's say a toaster. Let's say you hardly ever use your toaster. Does it have to be plugged in? Is it plugged in because you're not going to remember to plug it? You're not going to remember to plug it in later when you put toast in it, right? You'll find out like about 5 minutes later when you come back and there's nothing there, right?
Right.
You know, and how many clocks do we need? I mean, almost everything in our kitchen or in our house has a clock on it, right? So could we maybe unplug some of these devices that don't really need to do that? Could we do things like, if people have a clothes dryer, right? It's always good to hang your clothes up on, I have a wooden folding up thing in my laundry room because I don't like to put many things in the dryer except for towels and sheets. I like my clothes to not shrink in the dryer because I don't shrink between wears. I need to make sure I can get in later. But with your clothes dryer, if you're going to use one, people always say, well, when I bought my dryer, and I'm using this as, I'm going to talk about what people do and then how businesses can incorporate all of these things. Because a lot of the things that you do in life, you don't think about them. You just do it and you wonder, why is this happening? So you buy a brand new dryer and you think, wow, this is great. I got like 8 pairs of jeans and 10 towels in this load and it's done in like 15, 20 minutes. This is awesome. And then about a year or two down the road, you go, oh, I don't understand what's going on. My dryer isn't working. Well, it is, but you're not doing what you need to do. Yes, there's that little vent that you can pull up and you can take the lint out of it, right? But there's also a hose on the back of your dryer, right? That leads to outside, right? Sometimes on those dryer things, they have like a little grill to make sure that little critters don't get in, right? Okay, well, that also accumulates the lint, because that lint thing does not get it all. And if you don't clean that out, then what happens is the hot air is trying to escape, but it's not able to escape. So
there's the outside portion you need to clean that off.
Right. And then the hose itself, you should change that. If you can't take it off of the back of your machine and use a vacuum and clean it out, you need to change that maybe once a year.
That often?
Well, it's going to cost you like $10, right? But if it takes you 2 hours to do a load of laundry instead of 20 minutes, then that energy cost builds up. And most dryers it's like a 220 instead of a 110. So it's going to cost you a little bit more to actually operate that. So these are things that you think, wow, I'd never thought of that. I thought it was just my dryer not working, right? No, it's not that. It's maintenance. Even like, all right, we're sitting in here, right? And you have a return and a supply grill, right?
For the air conditioning.
Right.
Yeah.
Those need this right here, you need to open that. It just flips open, and you take out the filter. And you should vacuum it. You should change it. But if you don't want to spend the money to do it, you could vacuum it. You could knock the dust out of it. You could do whatever you can to try to clean it. But that has to be clean, because otherwise you're not going to get the proper circulation.
Right.
You're making your air conditioning system work really, really, really hard to do what it's supposed to do, right? Because you've given it a temperature, right? So you've given it a goal. It's got to be able to meet that goal, right? So it's things like this that cost nothing that can actually help you save. Ghost thieves actually are responsible for 30% of your bill.
Wow. All right, I was going to ask you about that. So, I mean, me with my charger plugged in all day, all night. Really? Is that significantly charging me, costing me money?
Well, let's say it costs you $20 a year. Let's just say that. Let's say you've got a number of things in your house. I have a hairdryer that I leave plugged in all the time. God only knows, I don't know why. I unplug it when I think about it, right?
Right.
But I don't need that plugged in all the time.
Yeah.
Because how electricity works is power comes from the road to your meter. From your meter, it goes to one panel in your house. Sometimes you have two, right? So power is always going to those panels. And then it goes to every junction box in your house, which would be the junction box for your lights, the junction boxes that would be for your outlets, right? So anything, all of those lights, even when they're off, power goes to those, right? Power goes to the switch. It doesn't go to the light until you turn that on, but power always runs to all of those things, right? So it's sort of like veins, right, going through your house. And there's blood going to all of those places, and then when you turn on things, then more blood goes, right? That's I don't know how else to explain it for people to understand it, but that's basically what happens. There's always power going somewhere. That's why when you go away on a vacation, you come back, you go, well, how come my bill's like $70? I mean, I wasn't even here. Right. Well, was your fridge plugged in? Was your stove plugged in? Even if it's a gas stove, it will be plugged in because you have your oven is based on,
the ignition
yes,
part,
right.
They call it. Yeah.
So, there's all these things in your house that people don't even think about. And it's the same thing with a business. So imagine a business that, I'll give you an example. So those are the things that are free. Free things. So you could actually go through we could actually go through this building, but I know that the Guardian has really done its best to actually reduce its energy costs by at least half over the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, you've really done a great job on doing that, changing out your light bulbs, making sure that all of your air conditioning ducting is good.
I think they live in here. They're in here every week.
Yes.
It seems.
Well, you know what, though? A lot of people have central air, and they don't even think of doing anything. And then what'll happen is when those filters get clogged up and everything backs up, what happens is the copper tubing in your air conditioning, it will frost over. So it'll get ice on it. And then you're going to get leaks. So you're going to wonder why. Why have I got a leak in my ceiling? Well, that's why, because it's not being able to be efficient. So maintenance is crucial, right? And then, of course, you guys were in a transition of changing over some of your older equipment, right? So, of course, those are the kind of things where they would have to come in a little bit more regularly. But so those are the things that you can actually do to keep your costs down free, right? But let me give you an example of something that cost. Okay, I belong to New Providence Community Church. And a number of years ago, we did an Adopt a Light Bulb program where we just the pastor announced at church that we want to reduce our energy costs because, we have a mortgage we're trying to pay off. Plus, there's, the church is very good at, they've been feeding people for through Dorian and through COVID. And I mean, you're paying people's bills. I mean, money doesn't stay in that church. Money goes out to the people that need it. So they did a list of all the bulbs that they had on the stage, in the building, outside, and you pay, could be $15, could be $20, could be $150, whatever you wanted to do. You just sign your name and you just pay whatever it was. Right. It took a year. At the end of the year, everything was done, and the energy was reduced from, the bill was reduced from $7,000 to $2,000.
Oh, wow.
A $5,000 a month, which is $60,000 a year. So after about 2 years, the balance of the mortgage was able to be paid off just by the reduction in the energy costs of running that church. Because it's a church it's a multifaceted church. It has Hands for Hunger, it has a gym, it has chives, it has many things in it, right? But by changing those light bulbs.
So everything went to LEDs, I take it?
Everything,
Yeah.
yes. Now, I want to also go back to, I want to talk about that as well. You know, I'm not a fan of CFLs. Right, compact fluorescents. And the country signed on to the Minamata Convention back in 2020. And the Minamata Convention is on the effects of mercury that persons have brought, not natural mercury, but persons have brought into, whether it's manufacturing, whatever it's for, and the effects of it and the damage that it's creating, right? So we have signed on to doing what we can to eliminate that. Mercury is in your gray cavities in your teeth, right? The fillings that you have, it's dormant when it's in there, but when you remove it, right? Mercury is in CFL bulbs.
Yes.
Mercury is in, the main thing was mining for gold and silver. Of course, that does not affect us any. Another use of mercury is in skin lightening, which we don't do here, but I know Jamaica is very big on it because it creates tumors
Some people
and
do
cancer.
it here too. Some
Oh,
people do it,
okay.
yeah.
Well, it's very, very, very bad for your health.
Yeah.
It's a killer. And then CFLs.
Yeah.
So the chamber has decided that we're going to do whatever we can do to eliminate CFL bulbs from the country.
Yeah.
They're no longer cheaper than an LED bulb.
Right. The
So
price difference
that
is
was the
very-
need
yeah.
originally, was they're a lot cheaper because but now you can buy like 4 LED bulbs at, let's say, AG Electric for like $8-10. FYP, the same thing. I'm just,
Yeah.
there are
They're
places you
everywhere
can
now.
buy it,
Yeah.
right? And they will last you, they're supposed to last you like 20 years or something like that.
But are you concerned that because there was such a big push to away from traditional incandescent bulbs to CFLs that people are thinking that this is the savior, and there's still people who think that this is as good as LED.
Even when they switched it to that, I was still not an advocate of that because I knew that they were full of mercury, and mercury is not one of those things that just dissipates into the air.
Right.
Mercury falls, and if you touch it, it absorbs into your skin. I mean, and I've seen through demolition. I mean, when we demolished this whole floor here to redo it, right? All the bulbs would just go into a dumpster.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't go into a dumpster gently.
No.
They would break.
Yeah.
Right. So then that goes to the landfill and goes into your water table.
Yeah.
I mean,
And people still don't know that you shouldn't throw them away. Don't throw them in the garbage with your
right.
regular
Well,
trash.
part of the other thing that the chamber is trying to do with our committee is do cradle to grave. So anything that is hazardous toxic waste,
Yeah.
if you sell it, you should collect it and take, and so that the landfill could actually have a separate place for those things, which they do. But right now, if everything's going in the garbage, it's not picked out.
Right.
Right. So, yeah. So LED light bulbs
Change
is
out the
really,
bulbs.
yes, that's one of those things you can do. And that's an example. Diane, oh my gosh, my brain is no good. Diane Phillips, yes. She also did the same thing in her office. And she said to me one day when she saw me, oh, my bill went down like $200. I'm so grateful for you telling me those kind of things. So these are things that don't really cost a lot of money, but they do cost some, but will save you greatly, right? So these are the kind of things that a business could actually do that could be, in my estimation, would be the first step, right?
Do you think, I know there's some important systems on some computers in offices, but do you think most computers in offices can be unplugged at the end of the workday? Is that something that can be done without...
I have to be honest, I would not unplug mine at the end of the day.
Okay.
No, because what'll happen is when you plug it in, it's going to decide that it's time to update itself.
Yeah.
And so you get up in the morning thinking that you can actually start sending off your pay requests and your quotes and all that kind of stuff, and you got an hour and a half you got to wait while that sucker does what it wants to do.
So that's one thing that you should keep plugged in.
Well, I do. I don't know if maybe that's the wrong thing to do, but I always get myself into a crunch when I don't.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I thought, well, I will I will know that extra money for that one is going to be there.
But the money that you save from changing out all the bulbs will counter all
right,
of that.
Right. So there's maintenance. Then there's changing out your bulbs, and then again, the SEER, the seasonal energy rating of an air conditioner, is so important.
Yeah.
Now, you can't even buy in Florida a 13 SEER air conditioning anymore because all they do is just suck the money out of your pocket. You might as well just take the money and throw it out now.
Yeah.
When you turn that on.
I remember just a few years ago when it was 10 that the people were talking about that. But 13 was the minimum, but now even that's not good.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know, you've heard me talk before that I haven't had air conditioning for like the last 12 years because my bill was just ridiculously high. And
Don't know how you're making it.
It was, I finally was able to save up enough money thanks to COVID and everything else. I finally put in central air.
Oh, okay.
And I put in a 20 SEER.
Wow.
And my bill before, and I saved them all. So I said I have all my bills, and I write on them when it was, July 21st was when it was turned on. And so I every time something new comes in and it gets done, so that I'm able to gauge it. So my bill went from like $179 to about $184. So it only cost me $5 more a month to have air conditioning when I had no air conditioning before.
And you think it's because of that high SEER rating?
It is.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I did do is, and then a lot of businesses should do this, is I kept the temperature at 75. Well, to me, that's cold, right? Because, of course, I had no air conditioning. But even now, a year later, I still find the air conditioning is very cool because I don't have to keep it at 73 or 72. I go to my daughter's house and I freeze because she has hers at like 73. But I mean, that's just way too cold for me, right? So if you're a business, and I know from working for a corporation that when you have large areas and lots of people, somebody wants to be changing that thermostat. Not only does that create a problem for the air conditioning system, because, if you have it too low and then you have another area too high, what'll happen is the whole system is not going to work. Then you're going to again start getting mold and mildew. You're going to get the freezing up of the air conditioning copper and all that kind of stuff. So if it were me, I would have they have these boxes that you can put on the thermostat with a lock box. And I would make sure only one person has that key. And it would not be the person who's always moaning and groaning about the temperature, right?
Right.
The next thing you could do to make sure that you can keep that on is some areas where you have a supply directly over a desk. Maybe that might not be the right location to do it. Most businesses actually have drop ceiling tiles so that you can easily get up into the ceiling. It's not like sheetrock like here. So you could maybe take that and move that over one or two spaces so that person who might get too cold will not get too cold. So there's things that you can actually physically do that just doing a walkthrough with each room and speaking to each of the staff members, right, to find out. You could do those kind of things, and it costs you no money to do that, right? And normally with the ducts, because they have flex on them, you're actually able to move them one or two over, right? I don't suggest, like some people will do, they will tape file folders and stuff on the grills to stop the air, because then again it creates a problem. You've got air is supposed to come to that area and you've blocked it, so now it quickly has to find somewhere else to go, and it's done on volume. It's pushed air, right? So you don't do those kind of things. But there's so much you can do if you're also a business. And this is not energy like paying your BPL bill, but this is energy that is creating carbon emissions. And you were talking about electric cars yesterday. I'm assuming you had Pia on?
Yes, definitely.
Yay. Okay, well,
and Sean from Easy.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about her. If you have fleets of vehicles, if you have those fleets of vehicles using electricity instead of fuel, the amount of carbon emissions that you will reduce is substantial. It's substantial. When you think of the fuel that we bring in every year to this country for our energy company and for our vehicles, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. First of all, it's ridiculous that you drive by houses and you see 6 cars in the driveway. Why?
Scary.
Yes, So if you are a business and you really want to save yourself some money and you really want to do something for the environment and you want to help us honor the Paris Agreement, then yes, if you have 5 or 6 vehicles, let them be
Go electric.
Go electric.
And unlike in the U.S., with the gas prices nearly $5, these will pay for themselves in no time.
Oh, they will. I mean, because we only do short runs here. Our island is only 21 miles long, right? Yes, we do get stuck in traffic, but we only do short runs, right? So to me, and they're quiet, right? I know in the beginning they're really we still have to work on the customs duties and that type of thing because to bring in a bus, let's say, or a taxi or a tour car or a van, the duties are still ridiculously high for alternative energy. So like for solar, so we really need to write to our representatives and say, if enough people actually do, rip off the Band-Aid like me and say these things, maybe at some point in time, somebody's actually going to listen because we really need to do that.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, more tips on what you can do. We can get into the more costly things that you need to do. But as you say, they will pay for themselves in no time. Right. We're going to talk about that and get some more tips with Debbie Deal here, talking about what businesses can do to reduce their carbon footprints and to be more environmentally friendly, economically too.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend Business.
Really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Wait, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, but just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and Gretzy.
We need to start joking about everything, This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Wait, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us boy one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there,
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Croc Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you. And your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Got your final look at weather for today. We've got a frontal boundary just north of the area. That's going to trigger some pockets of unsettled weather over portions of the northwest Bahamas as it lifts northward. Meanwhile, a high-pressure ridge will dominate weather elsewhere as it shifts eastwards through tonight. Boaters in the northwest Bahamas should be alert for waterspouts as well as reduced visibility in heavy showers and thunderstorms. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for variably cloudy, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Tonight should be warm, showers locally heavy, and severe thunderstorms at times across the extreme northwest Bahamas. For the central southeastern islands, sunny and hot with a stray shower or two, turning fair and warm tonight. Look for highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, prefrontal activity ahead of a slow-moving cold front will approach the area with, and that's going to spark showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas, while the retreating high-pressure ridge will create pleasant conditions over the remainder of the islands through Thursday. So for tomorrow, cloudy and hot with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the extreme northwest Bahamas, sunny and warm elsewhere. Thursday, variably cloudy and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms near that cold front in the northwest Bahamas, but mostly sunny and hot with a slight chance of a few light showers in the central and southeastern Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check. And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. In light of Earth Day this Thursday, we are talking about how businesses can be more environmentally conscious and friendly. Talking with Debbie Deal with the Chamber of Commerce. She's the Director of Energy and the Environment for the Chamber and a part of the National Climate Change Committee. We're getting a text here from an IT professional. Don't turn off your computer. Turn off the monitor only if you can, but don't turn off your computer. Yeah, okay, that's a good tip there. Don't try to save money.
So it wasn't just me. No. Well, thank heavens. I thought it was just the blonde hair, you know.
I'll tell you a story off air about what's happening with me and my personal computer at home. But oh boy. Anyway, all right. So we've got the big things that you can do. These are going to cost you money, though.
Right.
Things that you can do.
I want to talk about insulation. I want to talk about hurricane shutters and that type of thing. But before I get into that, because it's Earth Day and this is something that's really important and it's passionate for me. So, and again, the whole purpose of all of this reduction for businesses and persons to reduce their energy bills and consumption is the carbon emissions. And the main thing that you could actually do, or we could do in this country to reduce our carbon emissions, because a lot of them are not just from us, planes that fly over, cruise ships, freighters, all that. We get everything gets dumped into our oceans, right? Yep. We need to plant trees. I know that sounds simple and stupid, but it is not. If you live in an apartment and you don't have anywhere to plant a tree, everything you eat, most things you eat have seeds. Plant the seed, grow the seed, get it to a certain point. We all live in constituencies. We have parks in our constituencies. Plant a tree in a park. Plant a tree that creates fruit, that creates food for somebody. Even if you don't want the food from it, there are people in this country that are starving. We need to start planting trees, absorb our carbon, stop cutting down trees, and if you eat something, grow it. That's what I wanted to get out.
That's
first.
for everybody, including businesses. They think like that.
We all need to think like that. If you want to do something, if you're a big business and you want to show everybody that you are green and you are environmentally conscious, plant trees. If you want to, plant them in, I don't know, schools. Go to churches, get them to plant trees. Go into Ranfurly Home. Places like that. There's no reason why we can't be planting trees instead of, because every time somebody builds a house, they don't leave any. They bulldoze them all.
Every single tree.
Even though the new law from back in, I think, 2016 is that you cannot do that. You have to leave the vegetation around the edge, the trees around the edge. Anyway, all right. Yeah. So that's my Debbie deal, that part. Now let's go to, okay. So the main thing with when we build, and when you're either renting for your business or whether you own your own business, is the heat in our attic, because of where we live, gets up to about 140 degrees in the summer.
Wow.
And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go up. If you have an attic stair or an attic piece, lift that attic piece up and see what hits you, okay? That's the kind of heat that is in your roof. So that really actually helps keep your house hot. So I use a spray insulation Icynene. That's the one that I really think is best because it was designed in 1986. A woman had died from the fiberglass getting in her lungs, and basically it was just too toxic and she died. A Canadian scientist developed Icynene, and it's environmentally friendly, but it will reduce your energy cost by 35 to 40% just by spraying it, and not in the flat surface of your roof, in the rafters of your roof, right? It also is a soundproofing tool. The buildings out like Turnberry out west, all of those buildings have been made with that insulation in the structure itself because they're in a flight path, so it's very noisy, and you don't hear anything with that.
Wow.
A lot of people will say, well, it's so expensive. Well, it's $2.37 a square foot, and yes, there is fiberglass rolls that you can use to put in your attic, but you have to actually put them in with a stapler. You could nail them, but with a stapler. Then there's joins where they are, and most times people don't tape the joins. So, and then they start dropping after a while, and vermin love it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, they like to dig it and make nests, and they love to do things like that, right? So if you could put that in, but you're going to have to constantly go back in to restaple because the staples are just, is metal that rusts, because whether you're near the sea or not, they're going to rust and just fall apart. If you don't tape it, and if they start dropping, the insulation factor just disappears, and you're just going to have to redo it later. So it's just better to do something like this in the first place and reduce your energy costs, and also give you soundproofing so that you don't have so much noise in your house, right?
How much of a savings are we talking about? How much can you see?
With your bill? My bill went from $1,000 to $500.
Wow.
Just by doing the Icynene in my attic.
And you can retrofit. You can do this to any
Oh, so I did it.
Yeah.
My house was like 25 years old when I did it.
Okay.
And I have tray ceilings. So they actually had to take the hose and go down between the rafters and the sheetrock upstairs all the way down. And as they sprayed, they had to pull it out. They can do anything. The hose can go in a window.
Wow.
We just finished a project in a plaza, and they were able to just shoot everything in through the door and the window. So yes, retrofitting is easy.
Does it affect the temperature of the home as well? I mean, do you feel?
That's what I tell you.
Yeah.
We did a house in West Ridge, and it's a 3-story house. And it was a 2-story house, and the clients decided they wanted the attic to be a room as well. So we did that, and we sprayed all the roof with the Icynene. And there was a couple months where the house wasn't open. There was no need for anybody to be there. The clients hadn't moved in and everything like that. But when you would go in the heat of the summer, you could walk into the downstairs of that house, and it was just as cool. It was cool, like there was air conditioning.
So it doesn't just make the attic cooler, but everything downstairs would be cooler.
And you could walk all the way through that house, and there was no temperature difference. You could go up to that attic, and there was not a lick of heat in that attic. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So it's honestly, it is probably one of the best tools. And if you have air conditioning, your air conditioning is going to be so efficient that, again, with an air conditioning system that's like a 20 SEER, it hardly ever clicks on and off. That's the part that saves you the money. So yes, so the Icony number one is going to save you the money because your attic or your walls, if you're doing a new building, like a metal building or whatever, and metal walls, if all of that is sprayed, everything is going to be a lot cooler. Your energy consumption will be a lot less. Your building will be soundproofed. So there's so many benefits from it. And $2.37 a square foot. If you think about what people will pay for tiling, some people pay $8 and $10 a square foot for tiling.
So an old building like this, we can do. We can do. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Any other things that we can do as we're running out of time here?
Oh,
but
well,
anything
again,
else we can do?
I'm a fan of hurricane shutters, the Bahamian shutters. They also, if you put them on the east side of your house so that in the morning the sun doesn't shine in and create heat, or on your business, on the back side of the house, let's say in the afternoon. Another thing that's good is when you open a door, like these are just little tips, like you can have a thing where as you open the door, the lights come on, and as you close the door, the light go off. Those are great tips for rooms like bathrooms and little kitchens. If you're in an office and you have a kitchen for somebody to go in, there's no need for that light to be on 24/7, right? So as they walk in, the light comes on, and as they leave, the light goes off. I mean, so those are tools that are so easy to actually do. And they could be put in at any time, and it will save you money instead of having things, like I said, that's one of those kind of ghost thievy kind of things that, you know.
That's excellent. So people, this debate comes up often about air conditioning. You mentioned mold, so you do need to keep it on. But I mean, can you save money? Is it okay to turn it off at night when the office is closed? What do you need to do?
The best thing to do is just make sure that you can actually have these little gadgets. Actually, if you go on YouTube and go to BCCEC, which are the initials for the chamber, Green Initiative, we have 12 videos. And they're all on different things: air conditioning, your refrigerator, ghost thieves, insulation, you name it. It's on there. But there's these gizmos and gadgets that you can get with your telephone. So all you have to do is when you're leaving the office, you turn the temperature to 78 if you want to, or 77. And then in the morning, it goes back to 75, right? And all you're doing is adjusting the temperature. So if you adjust the temperature to the point where it's not going to click on and off, it's not going to cost you any money.
Right.
It's just there.
Okay.
Right? So those are kind of things, again,
And that's good for homes as well. You can,
homes as well, and businesses, and you can get the things on Amazon for like $200. So it's not like a lot of money to actually do it.
And a couple of questions here before we go. I know this is one for me because I've kept everyone because I don't want to throw them away. Every single old CFL bulb I still have. But what can we do with those now?
At this point, they can go to the landfill. You might even call the landfill and find out if they have a central depot. But like I said, what we're trying to do is the cradle to grave. So if you bought a light bulb at AG Electric or you bought one at Kelly's, you could just take the old one back to them, and they would have a place where you could dispose of it, and they would have it picked up at some point.
Somebody's asking about fans. Can you have a fan on with the AC? Does that help?
Oh, you can if you want to, because you might have AC in one section of the house but not in the other. You might want to have a fan so that you could actually blow some of that cold air into a room that might be, adjacent to the other area that's air conditioned. There's a lot of tips, and honestly, those videos, they're only 1 minute each, so it's 12 of them is only going to take 12 minutes of your life to watch them all.
Give us the website again.
It's BCCEC, Green Initiative.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful stuff, Debbie. Deal. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here
so
this
much
morning.
for being here. And
Happy Earth Day this coming Thursday.
Same to you. Same to you. Plant a tree.
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds wonderful.
You've got a yard. You can plant a tree.
I can do it.
Yes.
All right. Thanks again.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. That's it for our Morning Blend Business this morning. We will be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend, the business, right after Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green.
All right. So I covered pretty much